the new Modus Super Series champion.
Oh my word!
It's another incredible moment tonight.
Jeff Smith!
It's match down.
5-star performer, and the bullseye is hit.
It's Johnny Magnet!
You have qualified, now it's about going one step further, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I played really well this week.
Oh, Jared Coley's done it again.
Jared
Jared cannot afford any more slips. This time he closes the match.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama in that practice room, but all in a good way.
And that was in a different stratosphere. But Simon Stevenson.
You push on and try and do your best.
Great dart. Great finish.
If this goes okay, then the rest of the week I'm hopeful.
Double 13. It's the new way for 146, and it goes.
Steve West.
Hang on a minute here.
Ben
Robb, yes. Thank you very much. 158.
Working really hard, and my results and my performances are showing.
Getting shot on the first leg, Keegan
is hit.
April is Champions Week month here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. There's just 2 more spots to book ahead of the big dance in week 13. Welcome along to the action. We are here at the Modus Live Lounge in Portsmouth once again on this Saturday night here on Pluto TV. Hello, good evening, and a happy Easter, everyone, here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. I would do one of those puns, but it's just not something that I necessarily excel in. But Saturday night here at the Super Series sees a spotter and a commentator in action. Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner are the only 2 people available to work tonight, so they're the 2 that join us in this studio on this Saturday night. But it's great to be with you once again, and it's fair to say that it's been a week of trials and tribulations, ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ridiculous, the ugly, the amazing. Just put any adjective on it. We've kind of had that.
Well, firstly, thank you for making us feel so welcome, Henry.
As always, as always.
No, of course. But no, this week's been amazing. We built it up. We thought, with the lineup in every single group, it was going to be a really tough one. And it proved to be that. We had these groups going right down to the wire, going out by leg difference. It was a real battle for the players that made it through to tonight.
In terms of this week, I don't think when we were here on Monday morning we could make heads or tails of what would happen over the course of the 6 days. And it's fair to say now we got to Saturday, that feeling hasn't changed.
No, absolutely. Like Laura says, that we've had fits and starts and ups and downs with all the players. They've had their good games, they've had their bad games, they've had their brilliant finishing, they've had their legs where they just can't hit a double to save their backside. I really don't know what's coming with us tonight.
We've seen some excellent darts this week here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. So why don't you put your feet up, get the chocolate on the go, and maybe that cream egg mug too. And these are the 6 players that are in action this evening. They're no mugs. 2.5 years after his last Live Lounge appearance, Ben Robb is back. A weekly runner-up last time out. Will the Kiwi ace go one better tonight? Steve West won his 200th Super Series game this week. Will he continue to break more records in winning a 6th weekly title? Keegan Brown returns to Saturday here. He's swapped the microphone for the darts this week as he seeks his 2nd Saturday success here. The last time Willie Borland played on a Saturday at the Live Lounge, he took the title. 7 series later, he looks to repeat the feat. Super scoring, phenomenal finishing. Simon Stevenson's Live Lounge debut has gone to plan so far. Will it be the Mirror Man who takes the silverware? Jared Cole is very familiar around these parts. He spends most of his days here as a spotter. Through to another Saturday is the king of the castle, the king of the church. Well, he's certainly looking to resurrect his form on this Saturday night, that is for sure. So let's get into the crux of this week's action. We got underway on Monday morning with Group A. We were watching this together, Scott, and we saw Ben Robb win a rather dramatic affair. Ray Mulvey led after night 1, Willie Borland led after night 2, but eventually it was Ben Robb that got over the line on Wednesday.
Yeah, we just had a run of players doing 5 out of 5s, and when they did a 5 out of 5, they ended up on the top of the group. And for Ben Robb, he did his 5 out of 5 on the Wednesday and topped the group, and I think he was good for it as well.
In terms of what he did right, we saw some really good performances, some monster averages, but it was the way that he was able to pin good things at the right time.
He was asked a lot of questions on Wednesday. You know, he knew that he had to go 5 out of 5 to get anywhere near being at the top. He was trailing by 4 points at the start of the day, so he knew that other things had to go wrong and he needed help from other players, and that's exactly what happened in that Group A. Everybody started beating everybody, but the one that was beating them all was Ben Robb.
So he's back here after a 2.5-year absence, the Kiwi. And prior to play tonight, I caught up with him to get his assessment of the week so far. Ben, it's been a while since we've seen you here at the Super Series, but the way you did play, it was almost as if you picked up where you left off last time.
Yeah, it took me a while to get comfortable, but once we started to get going, felt comfortable, and then went in there for some good games, some good averages, and hopefully it carries over.
What would be your overall assessment of the way that you played in Group A?
I was happy with how I played. Probably a bit inconsistent in patches, but I was always able to save myself in legs and give myself a chance to win those legs. So more of the same tonight. Score well, give myself a bit more room to put away those finishes, and I'll be all right.
Last time you did get through to the final. Does that stoke a bit of the fire knowing that you came so close and it's been so long since the last time?
Yeah, and especially the guy that beat me is in there as well. So, let's see how it goes. I'd love to get one back on him, but however it goes, I just want to be at the end and lift the trophy. So, bring it on.
Wish you well. Good luck tonight, Ben.
Cheers, Henry. Appreciate it.
And I think one of the things that cannot be understated, Laura, is the commitment that he's made just to be here. Yeah, I know he played at the Challenge Tour last weekend, but we speak about a lot of players that make their way from Europe saying that they've made effort to travel here. He's literally traversed the other side of the world. And for someone like him, I'd imagine that's been months of planning and preparation just to make sure he was in the building this week.
Yeah, and it's something that I've said on several occasions when you look at, say, like the top pros, the Simon Whitlocks who we've had here previously, the Damon Hetters, they relocate their whole lives. So the fact that Ben's had to do that, work out how it fits with his calendar, it's great. It's been a 2.5-year hiatus since he's been here last time. It's great to have him back in the building. But as you say, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into being able just to be here.
So he won Group A. Group B and Group C is what we were watching on Thursday and Friday, respectively. We'll begin with Group B, Scott, because in the end, it was won by Steve West. Now, we'll hear from him in a few moments' time. He's saying his game, he knows when he's playing well, it's in a very good space, but still looking to find that consistency that we saw from him a couple of years ago when he was winning titles week in, week out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once you've had that run, you look for it again in the next part of your dart in life, and sometimes you can keep searching and it doesn't come, and maybe over searching for it is what's stopping it coming to you. He still has a brilliant top game, and when he's on his top game, he beats absolutely anybody in the world. There's no two ways about that.
And Steve West on Wednesday registered his 200th win here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, joining an illustrious club. Neil Duff leads the way with 247. He can break the 250 mark when he plays at Champions Week in a fortnight's time. And Steve West's first game this season will be his 350th that he's played in this tournament. So some campaigner, that is for sure. So from Steve West to Keegan Brown, who also made it through. Fair to say that it was in and out. The good stuff was really good, but maybe if he's to be successful tonight, he's just got to smooth around the edges a little bit. Yeah,
and I think you're right. You go from his lowest average, which was the lowest of the group, the low 70s, right the way through to the highest, which was in excess of 102. So that's a 30-point gap. And I think that just summarises exactly what you're saying. It's about finding something in the middle that you can do consistently time and time again. If you can get in that 100 mark again, perfect. That's what you're aiming for, obviously. But yeah, it's that consistency. You need that good B game just in case you can't quite draw on the A game. And I think he started to do it yesterday, but he'll need to do it more tonight.
Call me critical if you may, but in terms of Willie Borland's week, it's felt very good until the point of crunch, till the point of when the pressure's been on, we have seen a little bit of fallibility.
Yeah, Borland's found it difficult this week. There's no two ways about it. He had a little chance there and had a little dabble at it in Group A, and it didn't kind of go for him. And he kind of probably fell over the line in Group B when he came through. So for me, it's kind of which one of him is going to turn up tonight, because we know that his good stuff, he had periods in that Group A where he was unplayable for 2 or 3 games and then it disappeared again. So if he can do that for 3 or 4 games, he's in with a big shout at this tonight.
So that was the story of Group B. Group C is what we were watching on Thursday and Friday afternoon. You were watching it in the company of Niall, Laura, and Simon Stevenson on debut, winning 8 out of his 10 games. Look, we know how good he is. He's had a tour card in the past. He's had a good start to this season, and he really took to this like duck to water, didn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. He's a quality performer. We expected this, and even from the first game, although he lost, he just settled in instantly, and he just carried on throughout the day. I think between him and Jared Cole, probably the most 2 consistent players of that Group C, but the fact that he's topped it, very professional, very business-like, and he deserves to be at the top of the table.
It feels like Jared Cole is playing with the shackles off. Because, look, we've all known Jared for a number of years, whether it be here or whether it be through what he's done on the WDF, the PDC, whatever. I've always felt at times maybe he puts a bit too much pressure on himself. But it feels like now he's obviously doing a bit of spotting with us here. He's doing other things that actually he's going out there and he's enjoying his darts. And by enjoying it a bit more, playing a bit more free, we're seeing the best of him. Yeah,
I think he's taken the pressure off himself. I think as you get older, other things become priorities in life, and you've lived more of life, and he's at an age now where he's living that life, and so maybe the darts isn't quite so important to him. It is when he's here. There's no 2 ways about it. But what he's learned to do is turn it on and off. So he switches it on when he gets in this room, and then he turns it off again when he leaves. He's a great character, and obviously he's one of our friends here, and we know him so well, and I've known him since a youth player. He's just a great character, and I think it'd be great if he could get over the line again tonight.
Well, he is in the mix. Now, a couple of players who did miss out, Scott Robertson and Ray Mulvey, they're in the crowd tonight. They've snuck in at the back, but our cameras are that good that we always try and find them. There they are. And I suppose particularly for Ray Mulvey, Laura, he had such a good campaign in Group A. He's just had that dawning realisation, hasn't he, that he's on the telly. But particularly for Ray, Group A was a positive campaign. Group C, maybe what happened in Group A wasn't quite able to react on.
Yeah, it was a group of 2 halves for Ray Mulvey. He showed what he can do. He went through the card on Monday, picked up the first couple of wins, 7 consecutive wins, but then it was 8 consecutive losses. And as you say, it just felt like that crept into the next group. He lost his first couple of openers there, but then did pick up a win, but got better again towards the tail end. So there's plenty that he can take. I'm sure it's a real learning curve for him every time he comes here. Obviously, he's just on his 2nd appearance. So, yeah, it's an improvement. And, I think for me, there's so much he can take.
To tonight's action, the players are split up into 2 groups of 3. Group 1 sees Ben, Robb, Keegan Brown and Jared Cole go head-to-head. Group 2, Steve West, Simon Stevenson and Willie Borland. So those are the groups. This is how the odds look for tonight. And it feels like, Scott, one of those nights where, because on paper it's so evenly matched, Ben Robb at 13-5 could be value and Keegan Brown at 17-2 could be value. Well,
there's a cigarette paper between the odds, isn't there? There really is. It's tight from top to bottom. I don't think they're really sure. I think they've had a look at the numbers from the week and taken a punt at it, because I do think this is one of the tightest finals nights we've had in a long time. Sometimes when we say there's nothing to separate the players, it could be down to maybe a little bit of inconsistency. But I think the reason why there's no definitive favourite tonight is you look at the CVs of some of those players. Steve West has won many weeks here before. Jared's won weeks here before. Keegan's won weeks here before. You've got Ben Robb, the Kiwi #1, Simon Stevenson, who's had a very good year. So I could make the cases more and more as time goes on. But that's the difference tonight, isn't it? Everyone here has got a pedigree of some description. Yeah, absolutely. But also, you just look at how the group stages went, and they were all taking points off each other. No one really particularly dominated any one particular player. So the fact that you've had that dynamic coupled with what you've mentioned in terms of their CV and their prowess both here and away from the Modus Super Series, I think that's definitive of why we've got a few question marks. I can't pick. I'm not saying we're talking too long, but the players have already made their way out onto the stage. It's 18+, gambleaware.org, if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series. Right, let's get into the action. Ben Robb and Jared Cole kick off the evening's action. For Jared, this is a bit of a busman's holiday.
I've had enough of this. It's my turn.
Adam Mould to the stage, please. Adam Mould.
Adam!
Just a players, Marshall.
Wait, you. Out. Out.
And it looks like Jared Cole will substitute in.
It's all about all those times you practiced, all those thoughts and all those feelings have come to fruition. It's Jared Cole who wins Week 12 of Series 10. He is the name.
Intriguing battle this, and I get the sense all night long we're going to see some interesting games. Jared Cole kicking off the night's action, and he's going to take on Ben Robb, the Kiwi #1. Last time he was here, he made it through to a final, looking to go one better. He's already won a week here in the past. Let's hand over then to your commentary team tonight. It's a very good evening once again to Scott Mitchell, and first, good evening to Laura Turner.
Yeah, good evening, Henry. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we are already, I can't believe, on Series 13. It's week 11. There's your Group A winner, Ben Robb, 37 from Auckland, travelled all the way from New Zealand, played Challenge Tour last week, but we have the privilege of having him here at the Super Series. And he's taken on someone who's a real familiar face here at the Live Lounge, Jared Cole, the 25-year-old from Hearts. Real familiar face, as I say. He's a spotter here, but made it all the way through once again to finals night, looking to repeat the feat when he picked up a title back in Series 10. Interesting to see what happens in this opening match with Paul Hinks presiding over all the action this evening. Yeah, Scott, I think it's an interesting one. We quite often say this because Ben Robb, obviously top Group A, played really well, especially on that Wednesday. Looked like he really warmed to the task as the days went on, but then he's had a couple of days off, and then he has to open up the show. Doesn't always go well for the Group A winners.
Well, we had that Group A curse, didn't we? At one point where anybody was, I don't know what happened there. Anybody that was here, sort of Group A, there was a 25-week curse that nobody could get there. And ironically, Derek Coulson was the one that was the last one to win a Group A and win the Saturday night final, and he was the one that broke the curse. So. And then it's been sort of pretty profitable. I think it depends on the mentality of the player and how they feel about it. Do they want a couple of days off? For me, I think Ben Robb did 3 days at the Challenge Tour before he even came here for 3 days. So he'd been 6 days on. I think for him, no matter what the result is tonight, he probably needed a couple of days off.
No, and I do agree. I do think we talked about it this week, actually, the amount of players that come here do a full week off the back of doing something else. So you're potentially playing for 6 days, but actually from what you've done before, it could be 9 days. We've had people come in and play consecutively for a couple of weeks.
Even if you have runs at World Championships, you don't play 6 days in a row. You get days off between games, so it's something that you just don't usually do.
36, Benyakar 108.
Yeah, a couple of early misses for Jared Cole, who had set up nicely after 9, and this is a real chance for Ben Robb.
56, Benyakar 16.
Takes another little step across.
No score.
And misses right on the wire. So Cole here, like we said, there has been a bit of double trouble on and off for players this week, and it started already for Jared Cole in this first leg. Ben Robb doesn't make mistakes. And once again,
second leg Jared to throw first. Game on.
He has 2 Kiwis in from New Zealand to support him.
Yeah, and that'd be disappointing for Jared, because I think he was down to 52 after just 9 darts. He'd hit that maximum, really carved out an opportunity for the early break, and it's 5 missed already at a double. No need to panic at this point for Jared Cole, 57. But he needs to now take advantage of the fact that he's thrown first in leg 2.
Yeah, exactly. There should be no panic for Jared. He really did come out of the blocks firing. 100. And, you know, those first 9 darts, that's what he wants to focus on, really. He needs those again here on his own throw.
93.
One thing Big Rig does, he's not frightened to move. And we spoke about it actually after the show on Wednesday
100.
about sometimes he does throw a blocker or 2 at the treble, and he persisted to go for the 20s at times where he had to. But other times he moved out. Like now, he's got to go out.
59.
And we discussed this because he didn't go out often enough for me at times.
Yeah, there was an argument of moving after just that first start, to be honest, and the outcome was he did
100.
clatter into it. But that's all that kind of learning curve, and playing in something like the Super Series, I just think it gives you that opportunity to really explore your throw. You're playing so many games and just try new things. Can I get one across the top? Do I have to switch?
So now Jared's got to stay there. He's heading for the treble. Didn't go.
60.
And once again, in the scoring phase of the game, he's left Ben Robb back on 2-1-4.
59. Jared Ducar, 60.
Well, this for a level game. And
Game
this
on the
time
same
it's
leg,
cleanly
Jared
taken
Cole.
by Jared Cole. But already early shakes of the head, and I think that's just
Derek Bender
the
through
frustration
first.
of missing
Game
so
on.
many in that opener.
It is, and when you go out first start like that, you just start thinking to yourself, why did I not do that in the last leg? Why did I make the last leg so difficult? And you do, just naturally in your head. It was a big
93.
moment really early when you're not really revved up and going, you're not into the game. And so sometimes that will happen.
I think that could be
53.
almost a story of this week, that none of the players have particularly been able to make it easy for themselves. They've all made mistakes and they've all capitalised when it's really necessary. But none of these groups were kind of cut and dry or very straightforward at all.
No, they weren't. They really weren't. And some of the
40.
guys that got through made real hard work of it, to be honest. And I think when you look at the numbers and how many times people were level on points in the group
92.
at the end of the group, and some got through on legs different. Scott Robertson missed out by a leg. Steve Beaton missed out by a game, and it's just. And when you look at the amount of games
43.
that they played, that game is easy to spot where you could have had it.
Well, yeah, there was one standout one where Steve Beaton had 4 darts to beat Willie Borland 4 legs to 3, missed all 4, and then was punished in the end. And that could just be
81.
that game that could have turned things around. But a word out there for Steve Beaton as well, because getting 8 points in Group B normally guarantees you passage to the finals. It's the second time that Steve's had 8 points. He did it in the international pairs with AD Lewis, and he hasn't got through.
98.
I've seen somebody get through on
95.
4 points here. Lost the first 6 games, Rob Collins. Couple of series ago, and won his last 2 games and got through on leg difference because he was
55.
only losing
Jared
narrowly
Ducar,
when he was
167.
losing.
Well, Jared has had a 167 this week, but it's not going to go this
99.
time. So
Ben Ducar, 40.
back over to Ben Robb.
Game shown the third leg, Ben Robb.
This was a strong point.
Fourth leg, Jared to through first.
One of the
Game
days
on.
he had a 51% on his doubles. I think it might have been Tuesday. It wasn't even the day that he went 5 out of 5.
100.
Yeah, and although he's missed a couple at a double early on in this match, he's been visit perfect, and that's the key indicator for me. Not letting your opponent back to the board when you've got an opportunity at a double.
45.
Something Jared did really well, especially on that first day. I think over the course of 5 matches, he'd allowed his opponents 19
60.
darts in total at a double, 12 of them coming in one match.
Yeah, and that's brilliant if you're able to do that. Obviously, we were keeping an eye on what was going on.
96.
I wasn't here, and like you say, Jared's one of our workmates. I've known him since he was in the England youth team. He's just a top lad and a top character, and he's not a brash, buoyant character in any way, shape, or form. He's a likable character, and it was great to share a World Cup with him at South Korea last September.
161. $87.
Yeah, he's a real measured character, but he also is exceptional when it comes to knowing these routes and which way to go. As mentioned before, he does our spotting here, which basically means
80.
he needs to know where
WK
everyone else is going to go for their
74.
finishes.
Goes across to where he hit the tops
34.
before for the
Benucar 160.
60 that he shot out. A couple of legs ago. And Robb likes a big finish too. He's hit a 158 and a 170 this week.
Benucar 40.
The first couple of days.
Getting shown the fourth leg, Jared Cole.
Jared Cole levelling it up once again.
Fifth leg bend through first. Game
Jared's an analyzer. That's the problem. Jared's an analyzer. So he knows with that other leg, he would be 3-1 up now and sort of really in a great position. And the other thing that's very difficult for Jared is the fact that he knows the scenarios game after game, how many times he's worked on a Saturday night here and with spotting or in socials.
57.
Yeah, he knows the ins and outs of it. Probably more than most people, more than me anyway, because I don't take notice of it. Once it's done, it's done. I forget it, but he doesn't.
No, and he was saying in an interview after he qualified yesterday, it was such a complicated group in terms of if someone won by one leg, then someone was out or someone was through. It was the permutations it felt endless, but Jared had worked most of them out, and they were all discussing it in the back room, and they're all trying to work out what they need to do or who they needed favours from.
I know, but because I work here, everybody thinks I'm like it as well. And when they come to me in the back room, I'm going, I've got no idea. I haven't taken any notice.
60.
I imagine your advice would be just get up there and try and win. Come on now.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, boys.
Unless they're playing you, obviously.
Of course.
96.
The one thing that we did notice with Ben Robb this week is he's very good at holding his throat.
135. Benucar 40.
And again, Jared would know that. And that's why he's disappointed he missed that double in the first leg.
Well, a few more missed for Big Rig. Jared Cole has hit 7 ton plus checkouts so far this week, but can't find it when it means the most.
Getting shown the fifth leg, Ben Robb.
Yeah, and you hear that go on in the crowd. Ben Robb has come with a couple of New Zealand supporters as well.
Yeah, I did overhear earlier one of them saying that he was London-based.
93.
Was down here. There he is, as a Ben Robb fan. So, yeah, good stuff. Really is good stuff.
96.
Coming from the other side of the world, and you can still get 2 fans in here.
Brilliant. Yeah, and it can make all the difference just hearing that voice cheering you on.
58.
On the flip side, we've got Keegan Brown, who seems to have brought half the Isle of Wight with him.
Absolutely, and you know, there's 2 ways of looking at that, I suppose. Joe Hunt did a similar thing a couple of weeks ago. I think the island, just as well they're not here in the same week, the island would be empty.
58.
Yeah, not enough distance between these two. Not as much as Jared would have liked.
100.
Yeah, and although that's just the one treble, it has given Robb a slight edge.
100.
And the other thing that Jared will be more than aware of, and I'm sure Ben Robb will as well, is there is going to be a loser in these matches, but if you are going to lose, you want to be losing by a really narrow
97.
margin.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be getting sort of 3 legs on the board each time to give you a chance in the next leg, or next sort of game in the group.
150.
Really big visit from Jared Cole there. Can't finish now. 74, treble 14 to be the route.
90.
Leaves himself 60. So this 52 is under a certain amount of pressure for Jared.
Getting shown the 6 leg.
What pressure? Pressure's for tyres. Or for this chair that I'm sitting on in the commentary box.
Through first. Game on.
I like pressure makes diamonds.
Oh, does it? Pressure makes diamonds? Yeah, I never thought of that. Very nice too.
If my husband's listening, I do like diamonds.
What, in your Easter eggs? Cool. Giving him a load of time, aren't you? Yeah, brilliant.
I probably won't even get one of them, I'll be honest.
60.
Well, so far, both players very solid when it's come to throwing first. And
140.
just starting to see a bit of reaction from Big Rig.
180.
This is 18th this week. Jared Cole.
$140.
Yeah, but it's a solid response. And despite how well Jared is sticking in this leg, he is very much on the back foot. It's pressure on this 84.
Yeah, pretty tidy from Big Rig. 84 from 9 darts, and double 11 goes on the inside. So there is an
73.
opportunity for Jared. He's not done too bad either. 1-2-1 after 9. It's not often you're going to do that and still be behind. Treble 17 was needed there.
41.
It doesn't go.
11.
So Robb comes back to try and tidy up the 11.
Big 3 found. I've got a feeling that left his hand and he wasn't sure if it was going to make the big 3, but it has. Just stealing himself. Double 4 now the target. Finds it in the corner of the bed and it is a 4-3 victory. Yeah, you can see the Big Rig fans celebrating their win. 4-3. It's a narrow victory in the end, but it is Big Rig that takes the first points of the evening. That there, the tail of the tape. But after the break, we'll be heading over to Group 2, where we'll be seeing Steve West take on Willie Borland.
Welcome back to the Super Series, where our first game of the night went all the way to a last leg decider, and it was the Kiwi #1 Ben Robb that prevailed over Jared Cole by 4 legs to 3. So that's the first game of Group 1. Group 2 is about to get underway with a meeting between Steve West and Willie Borland. But let's hear first from both players prior to that opening match. Willie, fair to say a week full of ups and downs so far. What would be your overall assessment of it up to press?
To be fair, as I said, better than Challenge Tour last weekend. I felt obviously Ben turned up and done the business on the Wednesday. I was obviously gutted about that, but now I felt like I played well throughout Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday was good, got myself in a good position, and then Friday, couldn't tell you what happened, but you have one of them. As I said, being away for since last Wednesday, I get maybe just a bit of fatigue or whatever, but now I'm ready to rock and roll now, so looking forward to it.
Has this week been a good opportunity to kind of almost press the reset button a little bit for yourself?
No, definitely. Obviously, I love being down here. I love the setup down here, so always seem to produce somewhat on my best darts, but then obviously I have bad days as well. But no, it's good to be back here, and I'm looking forward to the finals now.
You have won a week here before, but when you won your week, you weren't able to play at Championship because you got your tour card. Did that flirt a little bit in the back of your mind going into tonight, knowing that you have won one of these, but you haven't had a chance to play at a Champions Week before?
No, not at all. Obviously, I done well. Obviously, like the rewards of playing like the Vaults, Challenge Tour, WDF, and that time. Obviously, I was playing darts a lot, so then obviously I was coming into here on a bit of form to win that. And obviously, I was gutted that I lost my space in Champions Week, but I was happy to get back on the tour. But now, again, hopefully win it and then get my chance on Champions Week.
Right, wish you all the best. Go well. Good luck, Willie.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Steve, it's been a bit of an up and down week. We've seen some good stuff. Also, fair to say, a little bit of patchy stuff. What would be your overall assessment of it?
Exactly that. Rubbish at patches, but for the most part, I feel like I played really well. But the finishing's let me down a little bit, and my scoring is not what it used to be, so I've got to work on that a little bit. But I think we'll get there.
We've kind of spoken about yourself adjusting, obviously, since the hip surgery and things like that, and getting your game in the right place. Do you feel like you're getting closer than ever to that?
No, not really. I feel like I've still got a little way to go, but, I don't play as much as I used to, so it's going to take a little bit longer to get to that point. But, heading in the right direction, but it's going to take a little while, I reckon.
Back into another Saturday night. How tough a field is this?
It's probably one of the toughest I've played in, to be honest. I mean, the likes of Ben coming over for the first time in a while and just blitzing everyone, and I had my chances, should have beat him, but once he turned it around, he just didn't miss. So, with that, and then Simon, obviously I haven't seen Simon for a few years probably off the tour and stuff, but he's dangerous. Jared, as we know, is dangerous. Willie, just Willie. Yeah, it's hard.
Obligatory trophy question to you. You know exactly where I'm going. A win tonight would be number 6 in weeklies, number 7 altogether, and it mean that you'd be back level with Neil Duff again. You counting the influencers still?
Oh, yeah.
The influencers don't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter if they do exist. I still had a title and Neil didn't, so yeah, no. Weekly titles is what counts, and that's what that's what I've got to look to, and hopefully tonight's the one, but if not, we'll be back and do it again.
Some way to send you off to Torremolinos, Steve. Good luck out there.
Hey, cheers, mate. Thank you.
As in, it's Steve West.
Side.
Gets the double 5.
And the Modus Super Series.
Steve West! Double 12 for the match and the title. And he's got it. He takes the 84 out.
Simply Steve West!
Nobody wins here as often as Steve West. He is a specialist of getting over the line in this format. But the last time Willie was here on a Saturday, well, he prevailed, but he was unable to play at that championship because he got his tour card. Commentary of this one from Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Yeah, Steve West Very much long in the tooth in Super Series years, isn't he? Man, he's moved down to Waterlooville. 5 times weekly winner. Heading off against a 29-year-old who was Series 6 Week 1 winner. So both know how to do this on a Saturday night. And both know they need to get out of the blocks fairly quickly. The good thing about game 2 is I think the night is already underway. The first game has gone out. I think the first game is always the hardest one to play here on a Saturday night. And I think once we get to game 2, you're feeling the rhythm of it all a bit, and everybody's a little bit more settled in the back room. Once everything gets underway.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because you've got that person coming back into the practice room. One is one's exhilarated and the other one is disappointed, and you start just seeing those emotions of the players coming back in, and you kind of want a bit of that happiness that the winner's got.
Yeah, you take it in, but you try to ignore it at the same time because you know it's going to be you in a few minutes' time. So, yeah, really, really difficult at times, but. One thing you do know, you're going on to one of the greatest dart hockeys and throws in the world, and
140.
You can't blame anything in this room. It is just built for dart players. It's a live lounge built for filming darts. It's just, and the players are paramount in the way it was built and why it was built and the way it was, and that very rarely happens for players these days. Usually, you're just told to get up there and get on with it, but this place is my favourite throw, and I haven't always had success on it. But you never doubt the throw when you come in. You know, sometimes you go to places that you don't like playing, and venues that you don't get on when you go, oh, I can't believe we're playing there again. And it's just I don't think anybody comes here and hates the place.
No, I agree. I
67.
think most players that get the opportunity to play here, very complimentary, and for those making debuts, they always seem to want to come back, want to improve.
97. Steve Car 114.
Want to try and retain the title again. Yeah, as for these two, they have played each other every single day this week, both in Group A, both moved into Group B, and arguably, Willie Borland may think that Steve West was the architect of his downfall when it came to getting through Group
56.
A, because it was the first win for Steve West
82.
over Willie Borland in Group A, beat him 4-2, which meant that he had to go and play Group B.
Game shown the first leg, Willie Borland.
And this is what Willie Borland does and is very good at. He's very good at having that rhythm. The rhythm doesn't change from dart 1 to dart 2 to dart 3. And it doesn't look it looks 45. A loopy throw. It looks a really strange throw, but it's very rhythmical, and that's where he finds his success. And if he doesn't quite get his range right or whatever with that kind of flopsy throw, it can fall apart for him. And I think this is why we see him sometimes peak and trough within his games, and it can be within the same game. It's quite strange to watch. There were times this week in Group A that he was absolutely unplayable, and then there were other times that you'd think he'd just picked up the dart for the first time. 2 games later, it was crazy.
I'll tell you what might be crazy, because Steve West has gone back-to-back 180s. We have seen a 9-darter here on finals night before. That was Danny Van Tripe, but dart number 7 just goes wide of the treble 20 target. Just well with the 8th dart. But you have to say, in the context of the match, you've been broken in the opening leg, and what a fight back from Steve West in leg 2.
96.
Yeah, very much so.
52.
No such problems there for Westy. 11 dart breaker throw. He's back in the game. There's no two ways about that.
Yeah, and you were saying before, Steve West, when he is on point and on form, has just demonstrated that he is still a world-class player, but it's about maintaining, isn't it? It's about that consistency.
It really is. The problem with the game now, has Willie Borland maxing a 180. The problem with it at the moment is there are so many players doing that level. So if you come off it, you can be made to look very ordinary.
Willie Borland.
59.
He's looking to break back straight away. Yeah, going back to what you were saying about Borland's throw, I have to agree completely that when I was watching him in Group P specifically, that he had some real struggles early doors, stumbled across the line against Gemma Hayter.
44.
But then all of a sudden, mid-match against Steve Beaton, he was 2-0 down and reeled off 4 consecutive legs and just looked like a completely different player.
Yeah, no, I think he took a bit of disappointment in with him, didn't he? From Group A to Group B.
96. Stevenson 108.
You must come back in when you're so close. You must come back in and think, I'm not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be me having a couple of days off.
$93. Willie Carwood 22.
He was looking for a second 25, but found the ball. He'll come back for 15.
54. Stevenson 15.
The easiest route for 15 is the 3 because it's the easiest number to hit. But the double 6 was a bit wayward there with the last dart.
68.
Offers an opportunity to Borland.
Game shot on the third leg, Willie Borland.
And one he takes gladly.
Fourth leg, Willie to through first.
Good finishing so far for Willie Borland. 2 from 2. Both on the back of combination finishes.
39.
10 points between the pair in the averages as well. That's the aggravation for Steve West. He's been outscoring his opponent, just not out doubling him.
140.
No, the match feels like it's a bit of a stark contrast from our opening one where everything went with throw. Well, so far, everything has been a breaker throw in match 2.
140. $134.
Like you say, Borland's now, he's feeling that he's finding his range, isn't he? He just feels like he's in the game now. 2-1 up as well
60.
on throw.
$100.
We get 2 types of players, in my opinion. You get a player, which is more like Steve West, who he aims the dart, takes it to the eye line. There's a bit of a pause and there's a real conscious aim. Whereas Willie Borland, a bit like Elise Ashton, it's all about feel and rhythm. And if you get it right, then you're able to follow up.
63.
That was close to the bullseye from Borland, really close, but a big 140 visit from West. Left the opportunity on 61. 1 for double top. Double top has been on a string for him. It's one of his favourite doubles.
Fifth leg, Steve to throw first. Game on.
Not often he's a million miles away with that when he's got 2 darts in his hand.
Well, the question is, can either of these 2 players hold their throat?
Yeah, you know, who wants the darts? Nobody.
100.
The way it's gone so far. But when you've been in games like this yourself, Laura, you know that you think, right, I'm back on throw now. Eventually I could hold my own throw. Let's hope it's this time round.
You think that, but how often have you done that and it actually still hasn't happened? I mean, I can recall several games where I've done this.
No, I can say me too. I you know, it was when I got on the Pro Tours, the bullseye was the biggest thing for me. It was just because of how well the players played against you. You needed the one up. 60. The only one up that you could get on, and before you started was to hit that bullseye and let them know that they had to break you. It was, and then you start
97.
putting emphasis on the bullseye too much, and when you lose the bullseye, mentally you're then thinking, oh, I'm going to lose the game now because I've lost the bullseye. It's a strange thing to go down, but when you're like breaking each other's throw, you don't want the throw. You just go, oh, I can break you, no problem. It's holding's the problem. So you just hope to hold once. And that's usually enough to get you the game.
Well, that smile from Willie Borland is that he wants to go for another treble 20, but that second dart is just holding on in there.
And then Hinksey took his time to call it as well. So he was then extra nervous when he was stood at the board waiting for it and he thought it might fall out.
137. Willie car 77.
Oh, good pressure by Steve West.
57. Steve car
That
40.
set-up play has given him an opportunity at tops, has given him a chance to hold throw.
Getting shoulder fifth leg.
Tops, as you said before, Scott, absolutely on a string.
6 leg Willie to throw first. Game on.
Just when you think you're getting the upper hand, holding your throat, Borland says, I can do that too. Opens up with a 180. Brilliant stuff from him.
100.
Game now starting to ramp up.
Yeah, competitive encounter between the pair of them, and Willie Borland, I was about to say, has got a bit of history of putting on a very entertaining 9-darter. I think one where he almost ran out of the building. It was a bit Dean Winstanley-like. We just don't know where they've gone.
Yeah, I remember having a chat with Dean about that, and he got told off, I think, by the PDC for running off a camera. Why did you do that, you fool, and then run off camera? I think it's the excitement at the moment. You just don't know what to do.
Yeah, for Willie Borland against Bradley Brooks, wasn't
60.
it? And it was a 9-darter hit at the World Championships to win the match. Well, it may not be a 9, but it is an 11-darter to level things up at 3 apiece.
7th and final leg, Steve to throw first.
Again, really, I don't want to coin the phrase even Steven here, but look at this, 60% on the doubles for the pair. Both have had an 11-dart leg as well.
Yeah, as you say, very little to split the two, but
140.
Willie Borland that's made the better start in this decider.
Well, he's made Westy have to hit treble 20s, hasn't he? That's what he's done.
43.
He's made Westy have to hit big double trebles, and then when you do that, when you're under pressure to do that, and then when you don't achieve it,
60.
You then feel you've done your job, and you need to hit a treble, but Borland goes trebleless as well. So Westy's kind of got away with that. He is trailing, but a ton here would put him back in the mix, and a 140 doesn't turn the throw back in his favour, but definitely puts something in the head of his opponent.
Yeah, but Steve West's position in the table means he's playing second game, but he's also got a long wait. And if you are on the end of a defeat and you've got to wait 5 games, it's the last game of the group stages. It's a difficult wait. It's a difficult contemplation.
Back-to-back 140s from West have been brilliant, but they've been overturned by another Borland 180, leaves 24. Bullseye here for the match.
96. Willie Carr, 24.
25. So Borland's now coming off the back of that 180 for double 12, double 6. And he hits the double 6. Borland takes this one 4-3. West goes down narrowly. It was a really good contest between the two. Both averages must have been up in the 90s. It was that good a game with the scoring. Yeah, there we go. 96 for Borland, 92 for West. We head into a short break. When we come back with Jared Cole taking on Keegan Brown from Group 1.
Welcome back to the Super Series. Before the break, we saw Willie Borland get the better of Steve West by 4 legs to 3. So both matches so far tonight going the distance. Game 3 could well be the loudest we see here this evening as Jared Cole takes on Keegan Brown. Both players with big support bases in the audience. And for Keegan, he's looking for a second weekly title. I caught up with him early on this evening. Keegan, through to Saturday night, what would be your overall assessment of the way Group B went for yourself?
A bit up and down, for a good couple of hundred averages here and there, and a little bit of mucky in between, but nevertheless, here again on Saturday night.
Is that kind of in keeping with where the game's at the minute? The good stuff's very much there, but maybe it's just working on the B game a little bit.
Yeah, I was really nervous in that first game against Willie on Thursday night, and it definitely showed, and then obviously just regrouped and it just clicked to go.
Back into Saturday here at the Super Series, I get the sense that you settle very well when you play on this stage.
Yeah, 100%, to be fair, it's the best stage I've ever played on. It's the fact that, it doesn't move, it's always there, and it always feels like home when I come here.
So into another Saturday, as we mentioned, you've won here before on a Saturday. How much does that help you, particularly when you look at the clientele you're in with tonight? They've also been there and done it before. Yeah, 100%. I think, let's be honest, 20% of matches are won with experience, and, maybe the experience last night got me over the line, and hoping to do the same thing tonight. Well, it feels like a Super Series workies club in the back room, because you've got Jared the spotter, Keegan the commentator in there tonight. I'll tell you what, have you picked a pairs partnership for the end of year work do? Yeah, definitely not you. Yeah, it'd probably be me and Jared if I had my ways. But yeah, in all fairness, it's been a good laugh the last couple of days, and tonight's no different. So let's just go up there and win. Tell me about this Isle of Wight Massive that are coming here tonight. And I've heard some big numbers coming here tonight. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 coming across on the ferries tonight. So, well, actually over there at the moment. So, yeah, it's good to have some, obviously, local support. Most local competition to the Isle of Wight is. So, yeah, it's nice to have some crowd in for me tonight. Go out. Wish you well, Keegan. Cheers, top man. Thank you.
And we are the eye of the needle.
The needle! Keegan!
167 now. Can this be the bullseye? Finds the bullseye. Keegan Brown.
It's the ball for a 117. Another ton-topping finish is a 117. Bullseye. Oh, what a shot. A 164.
Points left. It's another double 18. It's another incredible moment tonight.
But it's been a horrendous 2.5 years, but for me just to play darts to a good level.
I don't know why they're barking like dogs. But anyway, Keegan Brown takes on Jared Cole in the third game of the night. It's getting loud, it's getting lively. Let's hand over to Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much, Henry. Well, they could be barking for dogs because of my fellow comms partner here, Scott Mitchell. It could be the fact, Scott, that he's in a very similar shaded shirt to you as well. But I'm interested to see how it goes. Both these people know each other really well, both on and off the oche. Keegan Brown, the 33-year-old from the Isle of Wight. And as you heard there, a massive crowd over from the island tonight. Taking on Jared Cole. Now, we've already seen Jared out tonight. He was unlucky to lose 4 legs to 3 to Ben Robb. So he's in the position, Scott, that he's already got to win this match just for any chance of making it through. But also in the strange position that if he wins by a certain scoreline, then actually he could guarantee his spot through to the next round because the opening match was so close.
Yeah, we did touch on it, didn't we, when we were mentioning you don't want to go down sort of 4-1, 4-0 in the first game because it sort of virtually eradicates your chance of getting through. But Jared was, like you say, he was against the darts. And so going down 4-3 wasn't a disaster to Ben Robb. But he now has to take advantage of having the darts against Keegan. And it's going to be tough for Jared because, yeah, you've already heard the Keegan Brown
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg
massive are in, and they're very vocal about what they're doing. And I suppose if those two are playing in the pairs at the Works Christmas Do, that leaves me and you as partners then.
I'm more than happy with that, Scott. I think you might have drawn the short straw. Maybe not as short as drawing Henry, but...
Absolutely. As long as I haven't got Henners, I think everybody in the room... You know when you pick all your players at school and everything? I think Henners will be the last one to be picked here at the Super Series Darts Christmas Do.
$140. $138.
Yeah, as mentioned, though, it's imperative, no matter by what scoreline, that Jared Cole wins if he is to progress through to the semi-finals.
140.
But if he wins by either 4-0, 4-1 or 4-2 over Keegan Brown, then that would see him safely through, and it would come down to a bit of a shootout between Keegan Brown and Ben Robb.
Game shown the first leg. Jared Cole.
I thought Jared was excellent in that first game, and he started this second one beautifully.
First, game on.
When he goes to that hockey, he is fearless, and it's the thing that's changed about his game. You know, 59. He has taken the pressure on himself, because, like I say, the life changes. He's purchased a house recently, and all those
100.
sorts of things kind of fall into place for you, Laura. We're a little bit. I'm a lot older longer in the tooth, and your teeth are very short, is what I'm going to say.
58.
Stop me getting hit with a microphone. But I think that we understand exactly where he is in his darting life right now, because we've been through it.
No, absolutely.
45.
Yeah, when things on the outside are all going well and going to plan, then it just allows you that ability to focus on things like your darting ambitions. I wonder, I don't know how you feel about it, because, I mean, we've both been in variations of finals nights here at the Super Series, because Jared's been up there. Yes, he lost, but only by a leg. But he's already been up there tonight. He's warmed up to the atmosphere, the stage. You know, can he use that to his advantage? Because
60.
Keegan Brown's coming out cold, essentially.
Look, when I'm in Keegan's position, I feel like I'm coming out cold, and the other players had a game. We kind of come across that when we're playing knockout darts, when we're, WDF and ADC. Sometimes there are buys and people get a game before you, and every player would much rather play a buy and then go in and not be cold in that first
96.
game. So I totally understand the point that you're making.
$36. Keegan Brown 128.
Well, couldn't find the finish, but it's a 128, and it's gone low for Keegan Brown. Cole did manage to set up and
52.
playing beautifully at the moment.
Game shown the second leg, Jared Cole.
Yeah, lovely there from Jared Cole. For Keegan
Third leg,
Brown, I
Jared
suppose.
First, game on.
I've not had a tour card, and I suppose he's a part of his career where he's kind of, I've spoken to him about it. He's kind of enjoying not having a card. He's had a card for so long and been under pressure for so long, and it's nice to come and play something different. And here has been that difference for him, I think.
And he puts a lot of onus on winning this. I mean, you saw in the VT prior to the start of this match, how emotional he was when 93. He picked up a title here, because he just wasn't necessarily sure if he was going to be able to play competitively at that kind of level again. Well, he's proven it time and time again that he's definitely got the ability to do it. But he does come up against a really tough group this week.
He does indeed, and pops in a 180 there. And he knows that he has no panic at 2-0 down. If he can break the Cole throw here and then be back on throat, there is no panic. The only panic 96. Is if Cole gets to 3-0. And then you start to panic as a player.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we've said before, that yes, you can lose these group stage matches, but you have to win by a really short margin if you can.
$57.
He's looking at the treble 18, but he knows he's got a bit of time on his side.
Also with Keegan, I've known him as well since he was a youth player. We used to call him Baby Keegs. I've known him since he was about 12 or 13, and he was an excellent player then that you didn't want to draw. That's right on the wire.
60.
Just outside now.
130.
Offers an opportunity to Cole. We've already seen him at the bullseye in an 81 finish. Just under there. Oh, that's unfortunate.
100. Keegan
really,
12.
really good visit. But Keegan now has got the double six, and he has the experience. He's been at the top end of the game an awful long time, and he's got more experience than most people of his age as Keegan Brown.
Yeah, as a former PDC World Youth Champion.
Yeah, them World Championships, you can't take them away from you, Once you've won one, it's yours forever. You're known as champ.
60.
And you just see there's a little bit of a gulf between the averages, but Keegan Brown did well to find that breaker throw that you were mentioning, Scott. Now just looking to build on it.
139.
Yeah, well, he backed to hold your throw then, don't you? You got the momentum of breaking throw, and then you would back yourself to then hold your throw.
134.
Cole is coming back at him here. Double trouble visit there on the 19s, though. Keegan is now in full flow.
Yeah, back-to-back legs with a 180 for Keegan Brown.
60. Keegan 140.
Yeah, that was close. You could see from the
92.
reaction from Keegan.
$125.
Oh, big deflection there with the last from Jared Cole. But it's Keegs now after 48, double 16. Brilliant stuff from Keegan Brown. He looked down and out of 2-0. He's now very much back in the hunt at 2-2.
Yeah, 14 data from Keegan Brown to level things up.
He's bridged the gap in the averages as well. You've got Cole on 94 and Keegan on 92. So that 10-point gap is now just a couple. And now, with that 180, you can see it change and go back in Brown's favour of the averages now.
Yeah, and perhaps it goes back to what we were talking about, that it's Keegan's first game up there. First couple of legs just on the back foot slightly, especially because Jared Cole started off with a 12 data, but Brown back in the red bin again. It's back-to-back maximums for Keegan.
He's starting to feel it now, isn't he? Brilliant stuff. Brilliant.
162. Keegan 141.
Brilliant from Jared Cole. What a response.
Second time this evening that we've seen 6 perfect darts, but
59.
no reaction from Keegan Brown. Still full of focus, still got a job to do, because Jared Cole has been pretty good when it comes to these free figure outs, but
64.
struggling with
Keegan
them so
82.
far tonight.
82 apiece here then. Can't finish now.
20. Jared 82.
I'm not sure Jared will be going the same route.
17 then for double top. One dart at it.
42.
Right on the wire to hold his throw.
62.
But Brown made a bit of a hash of his, didn't he? He's coming back for 62. He's going to get 2 though at double 16. Double 8. Oh, and he's missed that on the inside wire. Really tense moments and key moments here in this match.
Yeah, huge miss. Huge opportunity for Jared Cole. It's one dart left at top, and he does pin it. And that will be disappointing for Keegan Brown, because after 6 darts, he sat on 141, and just that one shot at 82 obviously took an alternative route from what we're used to seeing. We're seeing players normally go for the ball, as Jared did, or the treble 14, and just allowed Jared back in the leg.
I do have to say, what game of darts this is turning out to be. Very similar to the last game with Borland and West. No quarter asked and none given. These two absolutely taking chunks out of one another.
Yeah, it feels like one of those matches, doesn't it? Who will buckle first? Sometimes you have games where it's like, who's going to find that big score, make the difference? But between these two, they're finding a lot of big scores. I mean, 4 180s for Keegan Brown.
Well, it's like that situation there. Keegan Brown hits a treble 19 with his last dart. Jared was thinking, I'm coming in here.
95.
Just drifts into treble 5. Keegs will now be back, looking to leave something handy.
57.
Couldn't find a treble. First one blocked it a little bit.
And here's that, a bit of a slip from Keegan Brown.
$98. Keegan Cole 144.
Again, almost a double treble visit for Cole. Leaves himself 84, 144 here for Brown. Hasn't yet hit a treble. Needs one there with the last and gets
91.
it. That could be
Double
vital.
cut 84.
Could be vital. Cole should get a dart or something here. Not going to now.
28. Keegan Cole 53.
Disappointing visit for Cole.
Two
darts from Keegan Brown. You can see what he thought of that.
So the final leg, Jared is through first. Game on. Thank you.
Well, by way of Keegan Brown levelling things up at 3 apiece. That means that the opportunity for Jared Cole to progress automatically through to the semi-finals, that's no longer on the cards. He needed to win by 4-2 or better. But if Brown can win this deciding leg, then for Jared Cole, he'll put himself through and take Big Rig Ben Robb with him.
Jared has started this leg very well.
100.
140, 100. You couldn't ask for any more of yourself in such a pressure situation. He's asking the questions of Keegan Brown, and Keegan's coming
96.
with him.
You have to say that for Jared, he'll know the permutations. He'll know that he has to win from this position. Brown does have the luxury of having a second match
91.
later on this evening. So the pressure you feel is even more heightened for someone in Cole's position.
Just as you expect from a spotter. Brilliant ball management from Cole there to leave himself 170.
43.
So he's first to a finish. It's probably now about making sure he's out in 6 from here. Across the treble 18.
100.
No, he went for the ball route to leave double top.
Yeah, and you can understand why, because it's been pretty good when it's come to finding that tops target.
100. WK 70.
Brown would have been looking for 140 there, not 100. Try and get himself left on the ton. 2 darts for Cole. 2 darts is all he needs. Big, big roar from Jared Cole. It's a 4-3 win over the Battle of the Super Series staff, I suppose we could call it. Brilliant stuff from Jared Cole. Held his nerve really well there. Keegan Brown put him up to it. You can see with the averages, it's a 4-3 win to Jared Cole. We're going to head into a short break. And on our return, we will return with Willie Borland taking on Simon Stevenson in Group 2.
Certainly getting value for money tonight here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Before the break, Jared Cole got the better of Keegan Brown by 4 legs to 3. The last player yet to see tonight is Simon Stevenson. He takes on Willie Borland in Game 4, and I caught up with the Mirror Man earlier. Simon, first time for yourself here at the Super Series, and it felt like you fitted into things quite nicely.
Yeah, everybody's been welcoming. I know that a lot of the players anyway, so that's been good. And yeah, I've enjoyed it.
What would be your overall assessment in terms of your performances so far this week?
I've done all right. I've played steady. Obviously, there's more in the tank, hopefully, tonight. But yeah, felt comfortable, played comfortable. Yeah, it's been good.
We were having a look at some of your numbers going into this week. There's been some really good stuff from yourself prior to this in recent times.
Yeah, I've been playing well lately. There's a nice little club in Plymouth that's got called the Legends Lounge. Really good dart throw, and I'm there practicing quite a lot, so enjoying it.
Is that part of the inspiration behind the green and black?
It is. Well, Plymouth Argo as well, so that helps.
In terms of this evening, obviously now into Saturday, I can imagine that's the first objective. But now you are here, I can imagine you're here to win on debut.
Of course, yeah. Just to get up there and win every game, really, and just see what happens.
And it'd be a perfect way to kind of, I suppose, for yourself in terms of the 2026 season, really get things up and running, and Champions Week only being a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to make that Champions Week. That'd be great. But, let's take tonight as it is and try and do the best I can.
Wish you all the very best, Simon. Good luck out there.
Cheers.
Liverpool.
This will hurt. Just about gets the big one, but he is right in the centre of tops. Oh, hits the treble. So just a single needed for a shot at double and a holy throw in the opening leg. That double is double bull. To the 18s. Oh, he's going to stay there.
Well, let's get into the crux of the action then. Game 4 sees Borland and Stevenson go head-to-head with Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner talking through the action.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Borland, well, we know what he can do. Series 6 Week 1 winner. Simon Stevenson, hometown of Plymouth. Been around a long while at the very top of the game as well. Always goes under the radar for me. I've known him for many years, obviously being Dorset and Devon in alongside one another. And he's one of those unassuming characters of Simon Stevenson in the darting world. You don't have to know that he's there to have him there. He's one of those quiet ones. And this is the permutations. Willie Borland qualifies with a win. Simon Stevenson qualifies with a 4-1 or a 4-0 win. So those are your permutations to keep your eyes out for as the game goes on.
Willie through first. Game on.
Had a couple of messages from Simon Stevenson fans. Mark Turner is watching on his way home from a
41.
Tournament that he's been at Western Supermare. So Mr. Green Army is wishing Simon all the best. Pete, you couldn't make it here, pal.
100, thank you. $55.
Yeah, first meeting for these two this week. Stevenson came through via topping Group C. It was Willie Borland who finished in third position in the end in Group B. But this is what we have seen from Stevenson pretty much the whole time over the last couple of days. Big scores, big finishes, but as you mentioned, an unassuming character that just seems to be so level-headed, so composed, and with so much experience to be able to draw on. Maybe not so much here at the Live Lounge, but
100.
Oh,
A
former UK Open quarter-finalist back in 2018.
You've just got to watch his throw. There's just not a great deal that can go wrong with it. Everything is very
126.
up and at you.
121.
and dead straight. It's how you teach somebody how to throw. If you could give somebody a dart for the first time, you'd want the throw to stay simple. The grip, everything. Double 14 coming in.
107.
Just drags it inside.
145.
Offers Borland a chance at 145. That's not going to go. So Stevenson will come back for 14.
Sam Nakar, 14.
Will he go straight at the double 7? Or will he 6 it up? Straight at the double 7. And it's first leg to Simon Stevenson. It's a breaker throw.
First, game on.
It's 14 dart leg breaker throw as well.
$60.
Yeah, it's a real solid start from Simon Stevenson.
93.
And the one thing I will say about Stevenson, and we kind of mentioned it in the last match with Keegan Brown, is this is his first match out here, but his first match on the stage, it doesn't feel like he ever comes out cold. He's just come straight out and plays. It's pretty much the same in game one as he will do at the tail end of the night. There was no real drop off.
44.
I mean, we saw in his VT that 1-2-3 finish that he had. That was the first game of the first match of the evening of Group B.
Yeah, the one thing I do know is he's a big
100.
practicer. I was told he was in nice and early tonight, one of the first in. And he mentioned there in his interview that he's got a place where he practices down in Plymouth.
Yeah, you mentioned his action. It's something we've talked about, because the one difference I think I see with Stevenson, and you're right, it's so straight, there's little movement in the body, but there's no real follow through with the arm. It's that little flick of the wrist.
105.
Yeah, all the power seems to be developed of the way that the wrist goes over in time with the arm going forward, and then once the dart's gone, it's like, oh well, I don't need to carry on the follow through. I follow through with the wrist. It's done. It's gone. I don't need to carry that on.
96.
And it just looks so simple, but so effective.
$56. Willie Carr, 124.
Triple 18 for the ball for a 1-2-4.
99. Sam Carr,
Super
40.
effort, but it's a chance for Stevenson to double his legs.
Super effort, super rapid, but Stevenson on tops. And the way his darts go in, he can get under
20.
that. But he's just a touch too far under on this occasion. So it's Borland back on 25. Goes 9 for double 8. One inside there.
9.
No, it
Sam
doesn't
Carr,
go.
20.
And now Stevenson, real chance to go 2-0 up. And this is for a holder throw.
Game shot on the second leg, Simon Stevenson.
He holds throw. He broke in 13,
Felt like
not
Willie to
14. He
first.
broke in
Game
13 in the first leg. Now he's held his throw in 19, but he
58.
won't be worried about that. The big thing that he had to do first was break throw and then hold on to his own legs, and then he could see this home.
Yeah, and Willie Borland here needs to be quite careful, because he's won that first match
96.
against Steve West. It can lull you into that false sense of security. But he's going to have to start looking at getting legs on the board, because
85.
if he loses by a big scoreline, then Steve West will only be requiring legs going into that last match against Stevenson.
$100. $100.
Can almost hear a pin drop
50.
in the auditorium.
Yeah, it really has gone quiet in there. We've had moments where Paul Hinks, is our referee, has had to ask for
140.
quiet. And he's not having to do any of that at the moment.
$140 with a car 118.
Good visit there from Stevenson to get him on level darts and level pegging.
78. Sam Nakar 115.
Good setup from Borland. So Stevenson has to take this 115, you feel, if he's going to win the leg. Treble 19 for double 19. Back up and needs a treble
99.
20. Hits it
Willie
nicely.
Carl, 40.
So he's there waiting if Borland should fluff his lines here.
They look like good guides, and
Game
it
shot
is
the third
used
leg,
well
Willie
with the
Borland.
third dart for Willie Borland. Sigh of relief from the Scotsman.
Fourth leg, Simon through first. Game on.
Yeah, very much so. Simon Stevenson still has that break of throw and leg in hand.
$140.
But we mentioned Stevenson here on debut. We know that he's got all this experience, but it is the first time that he would have
93.
been playing under this roof in front of a crowd.
Yeah, just sometimes I think being a little bit naive in this room on your first visit can help you. Once you've been a
100.
few times, you know how it hurts and you get the battle scars. But being here on debut, even if you kind of don't achieve, you don't have the scars. You think, well, hang on a bit. I know what it's about now. I know what I'm doing now, and I know how it feels to play the games in the order they play. So you still somehow go away with the positive. When you've been here 2 or 3 times, it then starts to break you and hurt you.
100.
Sound like you're talking from experience there, Scott.
Massive experience. Blink in place. No, not at all. It's just the way that I feel. Every dart player will be different, but for me, that's how it feels.
Yeah, a smile there from Stevenson. Was not far away from the target.
64. Willie Carl, 28.
Ball.
Game shot
Ball
the
for a
third
1-2-8.
leg.
And a come on from Willie Borland. Levels it up. It's that breaker throw
Fifth
back
leg,
that he
Willie through
needed. And
first.
now we're all back where we should be on
Game on.
throw. First big checkout of the evening.
60.
And a vital one at the right time as well for Borland.
$100.
Once again, Stevenson does exactly how we respect. Stay solid.
Yeah, what I found
137.
really fascinating to a point with Stevenson was for a lot of players, when they get that dart and it sits on the wire, they adjust. It's difficult. It's awkward. With Stevenson, because of how they land and
100.
how he throws, he's able to persevere and actually use that as a really good guide, a perfect marker.
Yeah, very much
96.
so. He's one of those that doesn't stray off. Proper old-fashioned player, isn't he? He knows that he can get there, and this is just a
100.
perfect example of what you're saying about the dart goes in flat. He can jump over the top of it and lay flat, but it's also
58.
not flat enough that he can still go under it as well if it's on the top wire, which is very unusual.
Yeah.
Which is very unusual. It's a great spot.
He's able to use that stacking system, but also the understacker.
100.
Like you say, I
Willie
haven't seen
Carl,
many players that have been
150.
able to do it with so much frequency as Stevenson.
54. Samuel Carr, 101.
Well, a chance here to break straight back. It's double 12 for a 101 and a 3-2
Game shot the
lead,
fifth
and
leg,
it is
Simon
Stevenson
Stevenson.
giving a bit back to Willie Borland.
6 leg, Simon to through first.
He did a 101 yesterday as well.
Game on.
But when you play like Simon plays and you stay on the 20s, you're going to be left those 121s, those 101s, the 141s on a very large amount of times because of not straying and the way that
100.
he plays. So when he sees a 101, he'll be thinking happy days. He's probably hit that shot thousands of times the way that he
58.
plays. And so he'll have good feelings on the shot when he leaves it.
Well, you just look at that last leg alone, and that's what Paul Nicholson would coin a red pen leg, because it was 4 consecutive tons on the spin with the 101 finish for a 15 darter.
Well, you remember those Super League days where we used to write in red pen when you had a ton and all the rest of it? And
We even had a green pen,
did you? What was that one for?
180s. We didn't use it that often, not for me anyway.
I was going to say, no, we never even had a green pen.
Still full.
Absolutely. We were too tight. We bought one of those pens that had 4 colours on it.
Oh, the old clicker
We
pen.
just had to remember one pen still.
100.
Those were the pens that the blue always ran out first, didn't it?
140.
And then you still had a load of red and a load of green left, and you had to chuck the pen away because the blue was run out.
I said last leg he went 4 consecutive tons in the 101 finish. Well, if he can find another treble 20 here, he'll be on for the same.
65.
Just had to bring that in, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, commentator's curse, Laura, commentator's curse.
100. Simon Carr, 136.
Yeah, now just looking to set up, and Willie Borland has managed to get himself down to a finish. We saw some heroics with the 128. Can he up it with the 160? Well, the answer is no.
74. Simon Carr, 36.
So Stevenson then 36 for the match. Double 9. It's a good marker.
27.
Come just inside it, and
Willie Carr, 86.
It hasn't happened for Stevenson. Offers an opportunity of the bullseye for Borland
61.
To level it up.
9.
And I think we can see what Willie thought of that.
Well, 3 match starts have come and gone. He's got 2 more in hand. Target is double 4. And this time, no mistake from Simon Stevenson. Gets past the line, beating Willie Borland, who races off the stage. It's in 4 legs to 2. And you can just see Simon Stevenson, as we said, it was just an all-round performance, really solid, really steady. 4 from 11 on the doubles, that 101 checkout, the 128 from Willie Borland, had a bit of everything. But after the break, we'll head back to Group 1.
A busy night's worth of action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Before the break, Simon Stevenson got the better of Willie Borland by 4 legs to 2. So the champagne very much on ice as far as that group is concerned. And the champagne very much on ice in this group. Here in Group 1, Keegan Brown takes on Ben Robb. And this is the situation. The winner of this game will qualify as group winner at the other player's expense, unless Keegan Brown wins this game by 4 legs to 3. If that happens, there will be a 9-dart shootout, and that 9-dart shootout is the only way Jared Cole can go out tonight. So Keegan Brown needs 4-2 or better. Ben Robb needs a win of any description. So in commentary for this one, it is Laura Turner, who is alongside Scott Mitchell. Hi again, guys.
Yeah, hi, Henry. Thank you for explaining those permutations. Yeah, for these two, it's pretty straightforward. It's all about the win. I mean, that's always the way when it comes to these matches, but it's imperative if they're going to make it through to the semi-finals. But a tantalising prospect on the horizon if Keegan Brown is to win and wins by 4 legs to 3, because a 9-dart shootout, we haven't seen one of them for a while on a Saturday. They are always rather entertaining, nail-biting, but they're entertaining for everyone. Probably, but just not for the players. Yeah, Keegan Brown, it was a narrow defeat at the hands of Jared Cole, and Jared Cole was in a must-win situation. As for Ben Robb, he got the better of Jared 4 legs to 3, hence why this group is so tight. Both players, they both played well when they came out onto the Super Series stage. It was the first meeting between them, Scott. Any idea how this may go?
No, I'm not sure, but it seems to be the crowd are trying to have a little influence on it. It seems to be 2 against the half of Isle of Wight.
Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Keegan to throw first. Game on, thank you.
Yeah, well, they will call, Paul Hinks will call best of order before the game starts. Yeah, and I do wonder for Keegan Brown, obviously, it's great to have all that support, but you kind of inferred it early on that sometimes having so much support behind you, and this is an up-close and personal venue as well, can that also be a bit of a hindrance, because you've just got that additional performance pressure. Yes, you can draw on your friends and your family that are in the audience, but you also are trying to play well because they've made the effort to turn up.
55.
Yeah, very much so. It can put pressure on you massively.
57.
Particularly the amount that have come over as well, and you know they spent their hard-earned cash that they work hard all week for to come and see you, and then
134.
It can feel like they pinned your hopes all on you, kite thing. It's quite strange, but yeah, I remember feeling like that at my first couple of Lakesides where I didn't get through the first round, and I'd had 20 people there with me, and it was just it can be soul destroying for you as a player when it doesn't go right. When it goes right, it's the greatest thing that you've got all your friends there and everything.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a gamble, isn't it, I guess, at the end of the day. I mean, you can't stop people coming along, and it's great that the players have had that so much support.
That's a great way to put it. It is a gamble, but you're absolutely right. It is. It's one of those, and then when you get your greatest day of your art in life and they're all there, that is just super special. By then, you kind of got over it and know they just want you to win no matter, and they don't mind no matter whether you win or lose. They just want to be there for you and be with you. And once you kind of realise that, it's a lovely thing to have them here.
$131. Benuka 91.
Missed by the width of a wire, and it's 2 darts in hand here for Ben Robb.
Both those darts right on the wire. A really good attempt at 91. Keegan now, you feel it's must hit. He gets it this time round.
Keegan Brown.
Gesticulates back to his fans to rile them up.
Second leg bend to throw first. Game on. Thank you.
We've seen that somewhere else this week, haven't we?
We have indeed, yes. Yeah, for Ben Robb, it's about ignoring the noise, cutting out the nonsense, making sure there's nothing for Keegan Brown's followers to actually cheer for.
29.
When you are, I mean, you must have been on the back end of this as well, where you're playing someone who's got a lot of support, especially those floor events. And the best thing you can possibly do, the best feeling is when they've got nothing to cheer for. And that's what Ben Robb needs to make happen now.
Absolutely. And in those instances, like you say, you just keep them quiet. The pressure then goes back on to Keegan. It's a strange scenario. Ben Robb is experienced. Is he experienced enough to know that mentally in his head? That's the question here.
I don't know. I've seen a few of those matches between Australia and New Zealand, and I think he might be quite used to a bit of noise, a bit of banter as he's playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't have to chase the bullseye, just looking to set up, and yeah, sensible play from Robb.
$90. Benukar 40.
So the man from Auckland, after 40 to level this up, and this is the one thing he's been doing really well all week. Big rig. He's been doing that well all week. I was saying on Monday and Tuesday, I have been to Auckland, and it's just the most fabulous city. It's just brilliant. I went over and stayed with my dear friend Mike and Wendy Day. Mike Day made Lakeside a couple of times. I don't know if you remember. Maybe about 2014, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And I know he was there in 15 because he gave me a New Zealand badge, New Zealand Darts Federation badge. And I put it straight on the shirt, on my shirt in the final, and put it on my pocket. And I was wearing it to practice for about 2 hours. And it upset Mike so much that Wendy had to come and take the badge off. She said, you hadn't had that on all week. And Mike was more superstitious about what was going on 44. Than I was. But yeah, dear friends, Mike and Wendy Day. And Mike's still playing. He's a veteran of the game now. And Ben said last time he played him, he actually turned Ben over. So he's still playing at a good rate of knots, is Mike Day. And if you're listening, Mike, I hope you're well, pal.
140.
Yeah, very good win indeed, because Ben Robb at this moment in time averaging in excess of 104.
97.
Well, Keegan Brown's thrown 9 darts and is still behind because Ben Robb keeps finding those big trebles.
125.
It's those sorts of calls that get you, isn't it? Come on, Keegan. It's just the one voice. They can sometimes put you under so much pressure.
93.
Yeah, you're like, I'm trying. I am.
You're never up there not trying, are you? And that's when then your friends can be a little bit of an irritant to you at times.
140.
Yes, another really good leg for Ben Robb. 180 is hit, but a bit of a look away at the end. There's nothing to split these two, but it's Robb with the first poke at 39. And he doesn't let Keegan Brown back to the board.
Forward bend through first. Game on.
Yeah, Ben Robb now really starting to just try and G himself up. There'll be a lot of adrenaline up there.
Let's not forget there's another group of people really interested in this game as well. The Jared Cole party will be very interested in the outcome of this game. Jared will be watching and know the permutations and probably work them out before they even got to us up here in the commentary box.
Well, yeah, Jared's in that position where it would be very difficult. Well, he's not eliminated at any point, no matter what the result is. The worst case scenario, as we've mentioned, is if Keegan Brown wins 4 legs to 3, then there will be a 9-dart shootout. Any other result, either way, and Jared knows he's through, but you still will be watching, but he might be a little bit he'll be comfortable enough in the back room at the moment. He may get a bit edgy if it kind of goes 2-all, 3-2.
Yeah, very much so.
100.
I think Big Rig's actually staying with Simon Whitlock at the minute while he's over. So he's not too far away from here. And as we know,
140.
There'll be a plane home tomorrow or Monday morning. Or staying for another couple of a week or so to play Champions Week.
134.
Should he qualify.
And again, it's a second consecutive leg where both players down to a finish, an identical finish, but this time it's Brown to go first. Brown for the ball.
55.
And he's hit the 18, so he's left himself 32. So he's had a handy miss there at the bullseye. But it's only a handy miss if Ben Robb doesn't get out. He's now got the same route. He's gone treble 20 for double 5. Oh, massive, and a big reaction from Ben and the two New Zealanders in here. Oh, they'll be doing the hacker in a minute.
This is a game where you've got two players who are not afraid to release that emotion at the end of legs. It's loud,
57.
it's fiery, and I'll be honest, Keegan Brown, we know he's quite synonymous with doing this. However, I'm not sure how often he's on the back end of someone doing it against him.
When you're as good as Keegan Brown, not that often, I would say. But Keegs will hang in there. Ben, there really is a bit of fan zone going on here in the crowd. You're a brave man. There's just the two of you, Mr. Kiwi, from London.
100.
They're very confident in their man, though. It's really...
I think they're really enjoying themselves. And actually, I've seen them acknowledge the good scores from Keegan as well.
It's the couple that's on the bench that are in between the two of them on the other side of the table. So they're sat directly between the two crowds. And they're just trying to stay out of it. They're just ignoring all what's going on. It's fabulous.
You people watching at the moment, Scott.
I am people watching, yes.
But you have to say this is some performance from Ben Robb. He's had the highest average of the week so far and the highest checkout, the big fish, and a 107 earlier on in Group A. Well, he's averaging at the moment just shy of 110.
127.
He tried to pick off treble 7 to leave tops, but he is in a really comfortable position. Keegan Brown knows that he's in a difficult place, trying to get his supporters to cheer him on, and he does find a max.
54.
He enjoyed it. There's no two ways about it. Not misses tops, and that 180 has given Keegan a big chance here on the 107. He's deserved his chance. Being urged on by his fans. Can't finish now, so Robb will be back for double 10.
Vanyaka 20.
He's going to work his way in. And that's exactly what he does. Ben Robb guarantees himself through, and Jared Cole from that result. Keegan Brown unfortunately goes home, but he's played valiantly this evening. But it's Ben Robb laughs his way through to the semi-finals in a really excellent game. 105 from Ben Robb, 4 from 9. Keegan Brown himself doing a 92. Brilliant game. We head into a short break, and then when we return, we have Simon Stevenson taking on Steve West to finish off Group 2.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, a 4-1 win for Ben Robb sent himself and Jared Cole into the semi-finals this evening. Keegan Brown has been eliminated, and we will have full reaction to that because Keegan's in commentary on Monday. Game number 6 is a meeting between Simon Stevenson and Steve West. Stevenson, well, he needs 2 legs to qualify his way into the semi-finals. Meanwhile, Steve West needs a win to make it into the final 4. Willie Borland will qualify if Stevenson wins, or Steve West can get over the line by a 4-0 or 4-1 margin. So game 6 of the night, the final game from the group matches. And in the commentary box, Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Well, those are the permutations. Pleased I didn't have to work those out, but yes, Simon Stevenson did everything we thought he might do. Be steady, be solid in his previous match against Willie Borland, taking that 4-2 with a 92.33 average. And he hit a 101 out in that game at a crucial time, so we know that he does things brilliantly in the right place at the right time. And we've been saying it all evening, Steve West's brilliance is right up there with some of the very best players in the world of darts, and he's beat them all at some point or another because he is a fantastic dart player. Sometimes the moments aren't there when he really desperately needs the moments. I would suggest that this is a game where he needs those moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, first leg, Simon to throw
Brown
first.
in the crowd there.
Game on.
With the crowd that came over from the Isle of Wight. Yeah, this is a kind of a match of the ages for me because both players, obviously, they've played on tour. They've met each other on the Pro Tour. Actually, they met 3 times, all in 2019, which is kind of unusual when you've got 128 players. You don't necessarily always see players meeting each other that many times early on in the 128 and the 64, but they'll know each other very well. They'll know what each other is capable of, but it's the first meeting they've had here at the Modus Super Series. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny how the draws work when you're... I was lucky enough to be promoted on the tour. When COVID hit, I was #1 in the Challenge Tour, so I went in for a year as well and then won my card the following year. So I was there for 3 years on the trot. And it's quite funny how you seem to play an awful lot of players 4 or 5 times, and a lot of other players in the room, you never get in their part of the draw. It's really strange how it works. So I can understand what you're saying there. This again, an emphatic start from Simon Stevenson. It's double 16 for a 12-dart opening leg, an 81 finish. And again, it's just so polished from Stevenson. A great sportsmanship there. Steve West just acknowledging that was a pretty good opener. Yeah, it's one of those shots that it needed at the time. You get one dart at it, and sometimes it's favourable to have a combination of shots just like that and have one dart at them.
60.
Because you know it's that dart or no dart, so you throw it slightly differently than if you got 3 in your hand.
Steve West knows he will have a challenge on his hands here. As Henry mentioned before, this is must-win territory for Steve West.
60.
And again, a bit like Jared Cole in Group 1, the match before, this will be a bit of a wait for Willie Borland.
I'm just looking at some of Simon Stevenson's sort of finishes from yesterday.
132.
And, you know, you look at them, it's 71s, it's 81s, it's 85s, it's 76s. He's just seems to polish off those lovely
60.
little 3-darters that look very simple to do, but you can see from his stats from yesterday that he continually does
89.
them. And that's kind of what he builds his game on. And we're all in that boat where we know that if you can hit anything from like 61 up to 85 consistently and be out in 3 darts,
100.
you're going to win a lot of dart matches.
40.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a great reply here from Steve West.
Getting shoulder second leg, Steve West.
Oh, the 12-count opener from Stevenson. West comes back with a
Good
40.
Simon to throw first. Game on.
I mean, you have to say, again, we quite often look at these groups and we think this is going to be an exceptional night. But you look at the stats and the matches that we've had, they've all run pretty much tight. We had some
100
big finishes, we've had big averages. It doesn't always come together on a finals night.
$140.
Average is very good here from West. I know we're only 2 legs in, but
59.
Westy now up on 108. Stevenson on a 94. Doing what Simon Stevenson does.
57.
Yeah, West showed signs of that A game against Willie
100.
Borland back in match number 2. It feels like a bit of a wait since we've seen Steve West. Did have a leg where he kicked off back-to-back maximums. But he's maintaining it, I think, especially against a class player like Stevenson.
$140. $99. Samnakar 102.
He's gone single 10, double 16.
86. Samnakar 80.
Just a reminder that Simon Stevenson does only need 2 legs to qualify, so that was a qualification opportunity.
Game show on the third leg.
Westy takes out a lovely 80. It does a Simon Stevenson on Simon Stevenson.
Steve to throw first. Game on.
Westy looking very focused in this game.
Yeah, it's one of those groups that it's, no one's position is yet guaranteed.
121.
And what a recovery that from the first start. Brilliant stuff from Westy. Stevenson
100.
is still doing enough to stay in the game. 106 and a 97. Really is, once again, good stuff. These games
100.
can be a bit messy, can't they, if you're not careful, because of what's at stake and what's on the line. But at the moment, that doesn't seem to be the case with this one.
55.
And it hasn't been the case with the last 2 or 3 tonight.
No, I was just looking through the stats as you were talking there, and we've only had 2 matches where two players with sub 90 averages. And like you say, for finals night, when there is so much at stake, sometimes you will see a player just have a bit of an off game, but none of that tonight.
Stevenson jumps in with a timely 180. It does leave him on 166, so Westy's got 6 from here.
Yeah, he was
85.
on what's been coined as a pre-bogey number. Now, I don't know whether that collision for Steve West was actually quite lucky, because it looked like it was heading towards
60.
that treble 20. So, yes, he's got to burn a dart, but he's not all the way back on 140.
No, correct.
15.
And that's unusual. Westy's usually dynamite on tops. This is for Simon Stevens' qualification. Stevenson tops it is. Tops he hits. It's a 106 from Stevenson. He guarantees his qualification.
Flick Simon to throw first. Game on.
He makes it to the semi-finals. It's the next stage of the evening done for Simon Stevenson. He can now throw with a bit of freedom.
140.
Yeah, and now an anxious wait in the practice room for Willie Borland, because Steve West, if he wins, he goes through
43.
with Stevenson. But as you say,
140.
Stevenson is aware that he's now through to the semi-finals, and he is playing with that bit of freedom, then wow, this is going to be a tough ask now for Steve West, because there's been a bit of a flip in terms of the averages and the standard of the scoring.
And there's the other flip of the coin is, does Westy know that if Stevenson gets 2 legs, then he's definitely through?
Yeah, not sure, but the one thing that Steve will know is a win is imperative. He hasn't picked up one yet. He needs a couple of points. And Simon Stevenson down to 41 after 9, making things very difficult for Steve.
41.
Stevenson just going inside the double 10 wire, and all Steve West can do is just try and find a big visit, put a bit of pressure on. Double 5 is not a given.
No, it's not a given at all. He's going straight at it. Nicely done. Gauged it with the first. A little fist pump from Simon Stevenson.
6 legs Steve
for himself.
First. Game on.
Keep him going. Give him a lift. 3-2 up with that holder throw.
85.
Now Westy has got to win the next 2.
And it's difficult. You've got to try and break it down. Right, this time hold a throw and then try and find a way to break. Steve West has broken him already. It was in a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it's a valid point. You can only win them one at a time.
That will help the cause for Steve West.
Steve West fans still believe.
140.
Really good visit again from West.
Again, down to a 2-dart finish after 9. A potential 11-darter incoming. He has hit an 11 already tonight.
$60. Samuel Carr 136.
Well, this is for the match, and Stevenson, another one of those, moves across to open the bet up. Oh, just above, so a big 16.
96. Samuel Carr 36.
Now it's a wait and hope. Westy on 36.
Double 9 does not want to go inside. That should be a good guide, but this could be edgy. But of course not. I think the point from Steve West. Level things up at 3-all. Another match tonight.
Simon to throw first.
It's the 4th match of the evening to go the distance. Steve West has been here before. He lost the deciding leg in his opener against Willie Borland. But just look at those legs, Scott. Nothing over 50.
140.
Brilliant standard of darts, and particularly under the amount of pressure that both players were under to get what they need to get through to the semi-finals.
100.
I can tell you, it's quite a nervy thing to be up there knowing what you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. There you see the standard we were talking about.
140.
Stevenson seems to be absolutely free flowing up there. Steve West with everything to do.
100.
And you can't say in this situation Steve West going back-to-back tons is bad by any means, but when you've got Stevenson going back-to-back 140s, it's making things rather difficult for Westy.
100.
Yeah, and moments like that where it's a last dart sort of salvaged treble 20, all those moments hurt, and they start to put
60.
the nails in the coffin and start to make you think that it's just not your day.
Double 18 for a 1-2-1 finish and a 4-3 victory, just short of double 18, but Steve West again with work to do. He was in this position the last leg, managed to work his way back in.
18.
So to close it out then, double 4.
10.
Once again,
116.
a lifeline for Westy.
Yeah, 3 match darts come and gone for Stevenson. That's a great first start. A single 19 for tops for a 1-1-6 and a 4-3 victory. Steve West manages to battle his way back in that match, because Simon Stevenson was relentless on those treble 20s. Not a single leg going over 15 darts. A real quality encounter between the two, and a wipe of the brow there for Steve West. He makes it through to the semi-finals. They're the tail of the tape, but we're going to take a short break and have a bit of a chat about everything that's happened so far.
So this is the tale of the tape as far as tonight is concerned. The group stage action has come to a close, and before the break we saw Steve West get the better of Simon Stevenson by 4 legs to 3. That sent both players through in that group. Willie Borland eliminated as a result, and Keegan Brown, the other player whose night has come to an early close. So that is the tale of the tape for the groups. This is how the semi-finals look. Robb takes on Steve West. They met in a final 2.5 years ago, whereas Jared Cole faces the mirror man Simon Stevenson. We've been watching all the action tonight in the company of Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell. They join us here in the studio now to assess proceedings so far. And it's kind of played out as we expected it to. A lot of tight games, a lot of nip and tuck stuff. And the two players that have been eliminated can count themselves a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, especially Willie Borland, because he kicked off, he won that first game, he must have felt relatively comfortable, but yeah, he's just missed out really by a narrow margin, because if he just managed to get one more leg against Simon Stevenson, then we would have been having another 9-dart shootout. But as it stands, this has been the tale of the whole week. It's just all come down to a leg here, a leg there, real tight margins.
What's been your takeaways so far, Scott?
Chinese.
I knew as soon as you said that, I knew you were going to go down that road.
Well, you asked a silly question. I mean, for me, I think for Borland, it's been that week for him, hasn't it? So he's been a little bit unfortunate to miss out again tonight by the narrowest of margins. But he has been skating on thin ice all week and probably was fortunate enough to be here. So for him, I think, it's a bit unlucky and sad that he's gone. For Keegan as well, Keegan threw some great stuff tonight. We mentioned it in comms that there was only 2 sub-90 averages. That's how good a quality tonight has been. And I can't emphasize how difficult that is to do under the pressure, because it does feel like knockout darts, but it's not knockout darts. So you approach it a little bit differently. And for the guys to have not gone all scrappy and had 70 averages, they've been brilliant tonight.
Let's talk about those that are through, and we'll go into Group 1 first, and we'll talk about Ben Robb, who played that game against Keegan Brown a few moments ago. A game that went nip and tuck, it went one way or another, but Ben found a burst, didn't he, right towards the end?
He did, yeah, and I think actually Ben seemed to thrive off the noise that was coming from the Keegan Brown supporters, and the reactions actually from Keegan as well, because neither of them were particularly shy when it came to holding back on the celebrations, and Ben, off the back of it, got better and better. The focus was there, the big hitting trebles, the big finishes, and there you see the best average that we've got of the evening as well, 105 average. But the key thing for me, and what Ben's done so well tonight, and what he did well in Group A, is the finishing. 4 from 9 in that match. He was 4 from 10 against Jared Cole. It's just been a real solid all-round performance.
Has Jared's 2 performances almost summed his week up altogether?
I don't know. I think he's taken some beating tonight, to be honest. I think he's thrown some really good stuff, and I think he should be proud of what he's achieved tonight. He's done what he needed to do. It's easy to come in, and he's part of the furniture here, and it's easy to come in and sort of roll over and go, I tried my best. It's hard luck. He ain't doing that. He's hitting big darts in big moments, and he's here to win it. He's not here to come make up the numbers. He's here to win it.
In terms of the other group, again, another dramatic one. Simon Stevenson kind of got the job he needed to get done. I know he lost to Steve in that previous one, but I think he knew rather quickly after those couple of legs he was in.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were not expecting him to make it through to semi-finals based on what we saw. It was an excellent first match from him. All that damage was kind of done there, and knowing that you only need a couple of legs, I will say he plays like a player that didn't know he needed a couple of legs. I think he would have, but he was still all focused on that win. He was just throwing everything at Steve West, and I think for me the credit in that match really has to go to Westy, because he was on the back foot at 3-2 down. I think he was Stevenson's on a finish, and you've got West back in the 200s. He's managed to battle his way back in, and yeah, he needs some credit there.
You could teach a lot of things, but you can't teach that, Scott, can you?
No, you can't. You've got to have age, you've got to have experience, you've got to have been in that situation a lot of times before. And he got himself there to that 116 and thought, you could see behind it, and I know the feeling is just give me a go. Just give me one go at it, because I feel I'm ready to get it. And you almost convince yourself before you come to the hockey that you're having it if you get the chance. We've both been in the situation, and it's one of those situations where you convince yourself that that's going to go, and then when you actually hit it, I think there was a bit of relief with the muscle showing from Steve West, and I think he should be relieved. He played lovely, and it's a big shot and a big moment, and that's what big players do.
And so the semi-final field is now set. These are the games that we're going to be seeing in a few moments' time. We kick off with Ben Robb against Steve West and Simon Stevenson against Jared Cole. And in terms of Westy, Laura, he may not be playing the best I've seen from any player this week, but it feels like when push is coming to shove, when it comes to the big games, actually, he's the one that's been best able to deliver the best performances.
Yeah, I have to agree, I think, and he's probably been pushed more than anyone else. You think the pressure that he was under there, maybe you could say the similar argument for Jared. The courses for both those players to get through to this stage, we'll get through the groups first, then get through to this stage. They've both been under pressure. They've both been in must-win situations, and they've both produced some exceptional performances. But with regards to Steve West, for me, it's the timing of the finishes right at the back end of that last match.
And Ben Robb's just hit 105. It's always difficult to back that up. When you've hit a ton average, if you come back with something, mid-90s, you're doing really well. That's super consistent. Can he repeat that again against a Westie that we know he'll take any opportunity?
Well, they're warming up on the stage now. Let's have a look at those practice darts. And just, you look at Ben Robb's demeanour, his body language. I don't think it matters what kind of game it is. He could play a game of dominoes with his mates down his local, or he could play the World Championship final. He just looks as cool as a cucumber, regardless of the situation.
Cool as a cucumber, but as competitive as they come, trust me, because I saw that in that Keegan match, because, like I say, as soon as that noise came, he was coming back at them, but he was letting his darts do the talking, and that's the most important thing. But the composure, even under, with all that pressure around him, in a must-win situation, manages to produce the best average of the night.
Just a quick word on our second semi-final, Scott, between Simon Stevenson and Jared Cole. The first game's a bit of a toss-up. Does Simon go in a slight favourite against Jared?
Yeah, I think he probably does, because I think he looked a little bit more complete in his group than maybe Jared did. But for me, it's now a one-off game. It's a shootout. Jared knows how to play these games. He's played loads and loads of them. He's more experienced now, but he is playing, for me, the most experienced guy that's left in it. So that could be a hiccup for him. But no matter what happens, he will learn something from this game, Jared. And obviously, we're all rooting for him here because he's part of the furniture.
Be interested to see, Laura. Scott, thank you very much. As you can see, the players are on stage. Ben Robb and Steve West is our first semi-final.
It's Robb with the first poke at 39. And he doesn't let Keegan Brown back to the board. Stevenson, that's a great first start. Single 19 for tops for a 1-1-6 and a 4-3 victory.
And now we've got to the knockout stages. Anything can happen. That is just the magic of darts. And, well, Steve West looking for a 6th weekly title. Ben Robb is looking to provide an upset, the like of which Southampton have done against Arsenal tonight in the football. But it's the darts that's doing the talking here. And in the commentary box, Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you very much, Henry. Yeah, interesting one, this one, because Ben Robb has already mentioned the fact that the person that beat him when he made it through to a final a few years back was Steve West. Steve West in the field. Well, this time they meet at the semi-final. Steve West, a 5-time weekly winner, looking to pick up a 6th title, a feat that's only been achieved now by one other person, that person being Neil Duff, who won his 6th title in this 13th series. It's an interesting dynamic between the two, because both players have had to really fight to get through to this position, fight through their groups and then fight to make sure they're in the semis. It's a great embrace from both players from the off, but it is the man from New Zealand who throws first.
$60. 57.
And this is where it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Scott, that the fact that Ben Robb's just been in such an intense match with Keegan Brown. He's found 100. Levels that we haven't seen from him so far tonight. It's about replication now, and it's how quickly these players have to come off the back of their group matches, especially when they were must-win group
81.
matches, bring that adrenaline down to then build it back up and try and repeat something in a semi-final.
Yeah, and Ben's had a little bit more time to come down, hasn't he, and get himself back up.
60.
The adrenaline on a game like that, it keeps going for 20 minutes or so. For West, he's hit that 116, which is beautiful.
140.
And he sort of had 5 minutes behind there and had to come straight back out. So for him, there's been no time for it to sort of come down and go back up again. You just hope that the adrenaline doesn't come down partway through this game, because it can destroy you if it does. So
he's making decent inroads on the Ben Robb throw in the first leg, and already the first maximum.
This is a really good opening leg from Steve West. 43 after 12.
105, Semifinal 43. $23. Banyakar 117.
Needs the treble 19. Finds it for tops. Steve West shaking his head in the background because that is what Ben Robb has been doing. You feel he's picked the pocket of Steve West.
First. Game on.
Lovely stuff from Robb there.
140.
It's quite a phrase from our presenter this evening. He robbed him a little bit there of that leg, didn't he?
He did indeed. And perhaps
95.
a little bit like that very first match where Jared Cole took on Ben Robb. Jared Cole had the opportunity to break Ben in that very first leg, missed 5 darts at a double, and then never even got a look in. You mentioned that Ben Robb has just been so good when he's thrown first. I think if you get the chance, you need to break in quickly, and I just wonder how costly that might end up being for Steve West.
137.
When you're playing at the top level of the game against any of the players in the top 200 or 300,
100.
if you've got any inhibitions of beating these guys time after time after time, rather than playing the top names and then beating them once in 9 or whatever, that's no good to you. If you want to progress, you've got to start beating them more often, and the only way to do that is to make and learn how to hold your own throw and to be out in 15 if you possibly can. A long shot, you want to be out in 12 if you can with some of the guys, but if you can be out in 15, that means they've got to then be out in 12. So you create a problem for them, and then they know that they haven't got many visits to get you.
Again, you saw Steve West in the background shaking his head because it just feels like when Ben Robb's on a finish, it's going to go.
45. Banyakar 25.
Strange West route from West. But now that's caused a problem for Robb. Missed the big number, but he doesn't have any problem with the double. Goes 2-0 to the good. He's now on flow.
Game on.
And this is where, in a race to 4, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble quickly because by breaking West in that second leg, he's 2-0 up, he's throwing first. There's nothing in terms of, a split between the averages. They're both playing at the same kind of level, but
16.
Steve West, like I say, those couple of darts missed in the first leg. I know that's not a huge amount of opportunity, but that could be where the damage has already been done.
There is that little issue 2.5 years ago with Westy stopping Ben Robb having
134.
a weekly win.
He did.
It was mentioned in Ben Robb's interview this evening that Westy had brought it up with him.
Yeah, I can imagine there's going to be banter in that back room.
I think there'd be top draw banter in that back room. That is, you've got 6 real characters there. Probably Simon Stevenson just sat there listening, to be honest. The Mirror Man won't be getting involved, but he'll be all ears, I'm sure.
46.
Those darts thrown in frustration, but take nothing away here from Ben Robb.
He's continuing to do his job, isn't he?
66.
Wide the tops, but West back on 338.
140. Banyakar 40.
You feel there's just not much here that Steve West can do because Ben Robb once again pinning a double. He's 50% on his doubling in this match, including that 117 to take the opener.
$100. 57.
18, 15 and 14 are the legs from Ben Robb. And like you say, Westy had
60.
good chances in that first one. And somehow it got away from him. There is still an element
81.
of fear here from 3-0 up. You can look at yourself and think, am I here? You know, how am I here? If you start thinking like that, 3-0 up, you can get caught.
But it is just one break of throw, isn't it? If you're in Steve West's position, you've just got to think, right, hold here, try and break, hold. And I know it feels like a long process. It's just how you deal with being 3-0 down. And like you say, how you cope with being 3-0 up. How many times have we seen comebacks here at the Super Series from a position of 3-0 up?
Yeah, absolutely. And brilliant visit from Westy there, leaving 61, another 140. Big Rig is going to try and do a 140 himself.
100. Supercar 61. $21.
What I can say here is Westy has upped it. He's upped it this leg. Ben Robb still has an opportunity here, not now. And his disappointment with the first dart means his second dart was also poor. He let it flow over. Westy now takes out double 10. Gets himself back in the match. It is only a hold to throw.
Ben to throw first. Game on.
Ben Robb will know that. He'll know that in his head. He won't be thinking any more than one leg at a time.
And he's got the opportunity here now to
57.
serve out the match. But you just think back to that last match to Simon Stevenson, Steve West. Steve West was in all sorts of trouble.
59.
He needed big scores. He needed Stevenson to miss. It wasn't a huge amount of misses on the doubles, but those couple of misses just provided long-range opportunities. Steve West winning with that 116 checkout. Westy will not give up. He will keep persevering.
$60.
Can't buy a treble at the moment, can he? Robb is not setting the world alight. He missed a treble with his opening visit. That was the chance. Scoring just 57 in his opening visit, but he's backed that treble-less visit with a 140 and a 140. And that makes you then very difficult to beat on throw.
100.
Westy won't give up, like you say. He'll still keep battling, but Big Rig really is playing nicely here.
140.
Yeah, beautiful setup play. And again, West finds himself in a position where he's relying on his opponent, missing darts at a double.
Well, Big Rig with a 57 and 3 140s now finds himself on double 6, and double 6 he takes our first semi-final. A nice, tidy, steady job from Ben Robb. 96.67 average. We were asking ourselves in that commentary box, could he do a nice big 90s average after the 105? And yes, he can. 4 from 8 on the doubling again, 50 cent. Brilliant for him. We say goodbye to Steve West, and we'll be back with you after the break. We'll have our second semi-final.
One treble required. Tops. Oh, magnificent.
A group of players for 2026 that has won a week. That's an elite group, though.
That's how champions do it.
Ironically, it's been the block toe. It's the one he's been able to find. Oh, this would be some act of defiance. Some act of darting defiance.
I've stopped speculating how Scarrett gets finishes.
It is 20 for double 16.
Game shot in the first
Traditional
leg,
route, and it was
Scarrett.
pinned well by Jasper Scarrett.
So that's the important dart, but because Spellman's dart lays fairly flat, it can be in a way. You see, stepped across to hit the treble,
Game shot in the third leg.
back across
Alex
to hit
Spellman.
the tops. It's a 120 finish for Spellman.
Game shot in the
Finds
fifth leg.
tops.
Reece Colley.
A great 120 check out there by Reece Colley.
Has first dibs on a potential outshot. Oh, we need the ball. 167. Take a bow, Jamal Vinden Herrick.
So, to stay in it. Another. Oh, this is fabulous. Can he complete the combination? Can he save his skin? Oh, that is incredible.
And so this is how next week looks here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Jemai Vanden Herik had a very good year on the Dev Tour last year. Played at the World Championship in December, back for his first appearance of the season. Dean Finn back in Group B. He was a weekly winner towards the tail end of 2025. And the ever-present Jamie Kelling also finds himself in action. We get underway on Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday darts. So if you're on your annual leave for your Easter, you got some tungsten to look forward to. But this is what Easter Saturday has been looking like. Before the break, Ben Robb beat Steve West by 4 legs to 1. And semi-final number 2 is a meeting between Simon Stevenson and Jared Cole.
This is for Simon Stevens' qualification. Stevenson tops it is 100. Try and get himself left on the ton. 2 darts for Cole.
So this is to face the Kiwi, Ben Robb, in the final. Is it the man wearing the Plymouth colours or the man wearing the Tottenham colours? And he'll probably be happy with the football score himself. Very happy with the football score is a certain Laura Turner. I'm sure you'll be from ear to ear, but don't say that too much in Portsmouth.
Yeah, I'll keep it quiet. Don't worry, Henry. But I do now have bragging rights in the Turner household. Well, who's going to have bragging rights in this match? Because Simon Stevenson, the 54-year-old from Plymouth, through to his first semi-final here at the Live Lounge, taking on the 25-year-old Jared Cole. He's a series weekly winner. He's back in Series 10. He knows what it takes to make it through to Champions Week, but he has a tough task on his hands because Simon Stevenson, despite losing that match against Steve West, a match which he lost with an average in excess of 101, it was a highly competitive affair, has looked like a man on a mission.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Simon, you're through first. Game on.
Paul Hinks presiding over semi-final number 2. Now, we were talking about who we thought was going to come through this earlier, Scott, and who was going to pick up the title. And
100.
Sounds wrong that we can kind of announce it at this point, but we were kind of flip-flopping between Stevenson and Ben Robb. Well, Ben Robb's already through to the
95.
final, but you cannot discount Jared Cole. He's got so much experience here. He's such a different player now.
Yeah, very much so. And like you say,
100.
We had sort of flip-flop between the two at the start of the evening.
99.
Ben Robb's done his part to get to the final. I think Simon's got a really difficult job here with Jared. I've been impressed again with what I've seen with Jared, and I was really impressed, particularly back last year, how he played for England as well at the World Cup.
49.
First World Cup, a debutant. And he just took it all in his stride. You know, he's one of those glass half full types of fellas, no matter what situation he's in. And he seems
60.
to find something good in every situation, whether he's won or lost. Look, he's a born winner and he wants to win, and otherwise he wouldn't be up there if he wasn't. And he wouldn't be good enough to be here if he wasn't. So he hasn't got to change too much. He's not got to think too hard. Stevenson here, treble 19, 62. So traditional treble 10 route. He's hit the treble 15 route, left 17. Jared Cole here, 158, 2 treble 20s. Now we go for 2 treble 19s.
58. Samukar 17.
Takes the 58 off and leaves himself a single to double combo should he get back. Stevenson then 2 at double 8. Double 4. And he's gone
13.
inside wire, so you can see the way that Jared Cole's ball management worked. He got himself to a number where it was treble to double. It's a 20. He's going to go tops. Didn't quite get there. And now he's busted his score.
Samukar 4.
And that has to go down as a mistake.
Yeah, big mistake. Especially if he gets the opportunity to come back to the board, because it's one dart, it's double 1. It's a great guide for Stevenson, and he uses it well. We've seen it so many times, that dart that's just perched on the top wire and he can just glide one underneath. Yeah, I think that busting of the 100 would have hurt Jared Cole more if he'd actually had the chance to come back to the hockey.
Yeah, possibly. But it was kind of a chink in the armour, wasn't it? And
140.
I can hear Jared in my ears as if he was a spotter and watching that happen, and he would be saying, I don't think he wanted to do that. And I think he would be absolutely right.
135.
It would be nothing derogatory to the problem. He would just say, I don't believe he wanted to do that. Just plain and simple.
No, it's how often we say, just make sure of the 100. Big number. Yeah, already this leg just feels important, because another thing I've noticed about 55. Simon Stevenson is he can kind of win from any position, but when he gets his nose in front, he's very hard to claw back.
He is very hard to claw back. And what's happened here, Jared is still affected by what happened.
38.
He's let it carry over for a couple of throws, and now Stevenson hits the 38. Now he's got to get his head on. He'll go downstairs now, back up and try and hit the treble 20. Come across to open the bed up.
44.
Slides it down the side into the 5, and at the moment, nothing is going right for Jared.
No, and he shouldn't be. I mean, it's frustrating, yeah, and with it. Certain players, I mean, I think I'd fall into the category of just finding it a little bit embarrassing if I'd broken, if I'd bust my score, but it didn't count for anything anyway. The ton didn't go. He didn't get back to the hockey. You just need to forget about it.
81. Simon Car, 118.
He's kind of kept himself close here. Stevenson is probably the bookie's favourite for the leg from here. Treble 18, 94. He hits that to leave 24. So new 2 treble 20s here for Jared, and he's not quite found his rhythm yet.
44. Samuel Carr, 24.
No, and he needs to find it soon, because time will most definitely run out.
Oh, back to the double 1. Is he going to hit 2 legs on the trot of double 1? He has a look at the Cole score. Cole's on that elusive 100 for him again.
22.
So is that going to come back to his mind from the previous leg?
Yeah, now it's frustration for Stevenson, because they were wild attempts at double 12 and double 6. The dart's just dropping a little bit low for Jared. The release is not quite right yet.
Getting shown the second leg, Simon Stevenson.
When Jared's playing his best, he throws his darts a little bit harder, and I think...
Third leg, Simon to through first.
it's shown a slight bit of apprehension with him here.
Game on.
And he's just doing the ghost throw at the back. He knows. I don't need to tell him. He analyses his game so much.
60.
Unfortunately, this is what this place does to you when you're on this side of the hockey or this side of the board. You start to analyse what other people are doing, and then you realise those mistakes within your own game when you go to the board. It's I don't. You probably have the same, Laura. It's a strange thing to try and describe to somebody if you haven't really done it. If I'm talking to Keegan about it, I'm talking to Jared about it. You know, we kind of understand.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
100.
I mean, that's what when we're set up here, we're here to kind of talk about what's going on, but also to kind of analyse and work out when things are going wrong, why they're going wrong. And as you say, as soon as you start talking, you think, well, I do that. And I do that.
Absolutely. And when the shoe's on the other foot and you put your foot to the hockey, we all say the minute a dart player thinks he's done or she's done. And we're thinking about it when we go put a foot to the hockey as well. We're kind of thinking like we do in here, but.
$79.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a miscalculation there from Stevenson. Thinking he may have had 71 left, but it was 81.
Simon Carr, 42. Getting shown the third leg.
Well, the
Simon
miscount
Stevenson.
didn't matter. It's a fist bump from Simon Stevenson, who races into a three-leg lead. And again, this has quite a lot of similarities to that semi-final between Ben Robb and Steve West, because Ben Robb did the same over Westy before Steve West picked up a leg, and that's what Jared Cole needs to focus on. One leg at a time.
Yeah, with that visit, the Jared Cole supporters continue to believe.
$59.
9 dart are going to happen this time round, but we know that Jared's done that here before as well.
Compared to the group stage matches, Jared not quite playing obviously at the levels that we'd seen there, but I can draw a similar pattern between his group games. First day on the group stages, absolutely brilliant. Next day, just struggled to get into that qualification spot.
100. Jared Cole,
Simon
91.
Stevenson continuing to do Simon Stevenson things and keep the pressure on the scoreboard. Brilliant stuff from Cole. Holds his throw, nice 91 finish there.
Reflect Simon to throw first. Game on.
12 darter as well.
And that'll be the point of frustration for someone like Jared Cole, that the first leg, couple of legs from Stevenson, 21 and 19, most players, and the way that both these players, in fairness, have played throughout the evening, that you're looking at 15, 18 maximum, not going into that 6th, 7th visit.
46.
You're expecting to get a dart or something, aren't you, to win the leg? That's the killer. You're expecting to get a dart or something, and when you haven't had a dart or something, something's kind of gone majorly wrong on the way down that leg.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that because dart in the 4th leg at the double, the one that was checked out by Jared Cole, that was the first dart he's had in the entire match, which shows you just how off the pace he's been with regards to the scoring.
$81.
He's still searching for something.
58.
But Stevenson, from this point, you feel, has got 1 foot in the final.
$60.
Oh, the tension. It's so quiet again.
It is real tension.
$60. Simon Carr, 120.
Jared just hasn't found his scoring boots in this one, has he?
No, and the shaking the head in the background means, yeah, he knows that as well.
80.
I couldn't quite see if that second dart was in the treble. It was a bit of a blocking angle, but it was. But the tops didn't go.
59. Simon Carr, 40. Game shot match, Simon Stevenson.
Game shot on the match to Simon Stevenson indeed. He wins his semi-final number 2, 4-1. He'll be happy with that. I think he was expecting a slightly tougher game. Jared just didn't have his scoring boots. But it's another brilliant effort from Jared Cole this week, reaching the semi-final. The average is there. Simon Stevenson in control of the game. We'll take a short break and we'll have some analysis after that. Back in the studio.
I'd go, yeah, I'd go you.
Everyone's saying the same thing.
I'll get the freshest piece of lettuce.
11.
No, it hasn't happened, but I forget a lot of things a lot of the time. So, actually, it did happen.
Oh my God.
Mr. and Mrs. And we will be seeing how well the stars of the international pairs know one another. That's coming up after the live darts. Of course, the international pairs will be coming to you at the end of April here on Pluto TV. So this is how Saturday night looks here at the Super Series. That's the trophy that they're looking to win. And only 2 players now could possibly win it. And it's a meeting between Auckland in New Zealand and Plymouth, as Ben Robb and Simon Stevenson go head-to-head. Robb got the better of West 4-1. Stevenson got the better of Cole by the same score. Laura Turner and Scott Mitchell will be running the rule over those semi-finals and look ahead to the final here in the Pluto TV studio. And let's start with the second semi-final, because Simon Stevenson did what he had to do. Maybe there was a scrappy first couple of legs in there, but sometimes the scrappy ones are the ones you have to win if you're going to win semi-finals.
I agree. I think you just got to do what's in front of you. If you've not quite kicked on, just give yourself enough time to be able to build on it. And that's what Simon Stevenson did so well. To the point, I think the disappointment will come with regards to, from Jared's point of view, is that I think it was a 21 and an 18 or 19 dart leg, but he didn't have a chance at a double. And I think that will be the kicker, because he just didn't play as well as he could. But Stevenson did more than enough in those first couple and then just pushed on. He just seems to be such a solid front runner. He's hard to claw back.
Will Jared feel possibly opportunity missed just because of the scrappy nature of those first couple of legs?
Yeah, I think he would have probably fancied playing Simon rather than Ben anyway. So that goes his way. But I think that, there'll be disappointment because he hasn't scored like he has all night, and his scoring has been getting him opportunities. And in that one, he just didn't quite find his scoring boots, unfortunately for him. But many positives to come. He's back and made another semi-final on a Saturday night in what's been a really, really tough week. So for me, there are more positives for Jared than negatives.
Could we almost recycle that same script for the first semi-final between Ben Robb and Steve West?
I think you could. Yeah, I think Steve West was just caught slightly on the back foot. I think Ben Robb probably produced another, very solid performance. He was going to be hard to beat when he was playing in the manner that he was. But yeah, Steve West, there was just too many slips, too many trebleless visits, and he just couldn't find a way back in.
As for Ben Robb, he looks like a man on a mission. I suppose he will be a man on a mission. He's come all the way home from New Zealand to play here. You don't come here just to play some fun games. You come here to win. Simple as that.
When you travel that far, you come to earn a few dollars, to coin a phrase. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think he knew in that game against Westy that Westy had turned him over in 2.5 years ago. That was still fresh in both players' minds. And I think that nobody likes to be beat twice in the same place by the same guy.
So there's 2 more spots to go in Champions Week, and one of them will be either Ben Robb or Simon Stevenson. The final's coming up in about 10 minutes' time. But the race to be there in week 13 is hotting up, and the race to win the trophy is certainly hotting up. And last weekend, it was a Prince from Winchester that prevailed.
Game
shot. Boom. Back to that trusted double 10. He was the bookie's favourite going into tonight. He'll use that as a guide. He'll just nestle on top of it. He'll look at double 18. He will smash double 18 in.
And he makes no mistake whatsoever. Richie Houghton
will go down to the 19s. Back to the bull. And back to a 1-0 lead. That is absolutely superb finishing. Under the circumstances, that is some finish.
Top for the match is double top for the semi-finals. He only needed one dart.
Right, treble 18 should be the 20s. It is. It is. That's what he can do. That's the brilliance. Brian Raman had an opportunity and takes it. It's treble 16 for double 18. And 2 wins out the 2 for Jamie Atkins.
Awkward, moves across, gets there in the end. And Chaz Barstow's in yet another final, a year on.
That's absolutely beautiful.
Twice a runner-up, Richie Houghton.
Of what's been a brilliant final. And it's champion Chaz Barstow. The brilliance of Barstow. He has been head and shoulders the best player this week.
Chaz Barstow! Rumour has it I've only just stopped saying his name. Chaz Barstow, the 10th player into Champions Week in Series 13. And you look at it, the first couple of weeks, they're won by outsiders, Steve Green and Keanu Van Velzen. They're there to have the week of their lives and try and upset a few. But then you get to the likes of Derek Coulson, Scott Taylor, Neil Duff. They've been there, they've done it before. And then you've got the exciting young talents of Nathan Potter and Jack Drayton to add to the mix. I don't know about you, Lord, but this feels like the most cosmopolitan Champions League I think we've ever had here.
Yeah, it's a real mix of people, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, you've got Scott Taylor, who's been there, done it before. Neil Duff. You've got the experience, but like you say, then you've got that young talent. You've got those youngsters coming through. But I'm interested to see as well, you know, Chaz Barstow, he's a local lad to us. He's only just won last week. And I do think sometimes players that win in those latter weeks, maybe just, you know, they haven't got so long to wait. The anticipation isn't building up for someone like a Steve Green that won all the way back early on in the series. But yeah, I think there's a few players in there who are going to really fancy their chances.
And then when you look at the dynamic of this final tonight, Simon Stevenson will go back home come what may. If he gets through the Champions League, he'll probably go back to the 9 to 5, do what he usually does, and then comes back for week 13. For Ben Robb, if he wins tonight, well, he's got to find alternative accommodation for a week. He's got to try and find a way of keeping himself busy for a week going into Champions Week.
Yeah, very much so. And we say about him having 2 days off this week. Well, what's he going to do with himself next week? But yeah, absolutely. I think if either player goes into that spot for Champions Week, they add a different dynamic to the whole rest of the crew. So for me, it's one of those that I think both are going to be a welcome addition.
And how do you separate the two? Because they both had good performances. They both maybe at times have had to survive a little, and they both wear black and green shirts.
It is very difficult, isn't it? Very difficult to separate them. Scott and I were saying that, you know, we had this conversation earlier. We're like, who do you really think? And I don't think we were kind of going between these two. We've seen great stuff from both. I think it will just be who takes the chances, you know, and who just makes that better start.
We've spoken about Ben Robb being a winner on the DPNZ Tour. He's been a finalist here in the past. He's had a very good season up to Presser's big rig. How much is the fact that he's won a lot back home, could that come into play? That habit of winning often.
You're absolutely right. A habit of winning. You can come in here and not be playing particularly well and start the week really well and end the week well. You could play your way into the week, but he's been brilliant from probably the first few darts on Monday. The thing is, he's got the favourite tag probably tonight. Can he handle being the favourite? He's made it to the show final. Can he bring it home?
It's a very, very difficult final to predict, isn't it, Laura?
I think it is. But the one thing I will say, you know, Ben Robb's been really hard to break, but he's going to have to find a way of breaking Stevenson in this particular encounter as well. So, yeah, for me, it's about the start. It's about taking those chances. You go back to those semi-finals, and you have both Steve West and Jared Cole had early chances, didn't take them, and the rest was basically history. They were on the back foot from that position. I think this could be similar. I think one player, actually, if the timing's right, could run away with it.
Ben Robb literally limbering up ahead of this final. As for Simon Stevenson, I get the sense this is a bit of a free hit for him.
Yeah, I think he will see that as well. You know, it's one of those, you had to talk hard for so long, you come off the tour and you wonder what your position is in darts. Well, he's come here and shown what position and what play he still has within his ability. So it's in his hands. You know, the bigger they are, the harder their fall would be, what Simon's thinking, and I'm sure half of Devon will be fully supporting him and watching tonight.
We'll go for your prediction just a second, but I've heard, now I haven't been here for a few days, but somebody in my ear backstage has told me that your predictions have been quite good this week.
I've had a couple of strange ones, yes, absolutely. I think I know where you're going with this.
A very, very strange one. Take a look at this.
The stage.
I hope he didn't. I mean, I was here that week where he slipped off the stage. He bumped his head on the speaker because he's deceptively tall as well, is Tanny Van Tripe. Oh, it's just done.
He has just smashed his head on the TV.
Mystic Meg.
Honestly, we always say about commentary, and we sometimes get the timing quite wrong. We'll predict something and the complete opposite happens. So it's nice when it comes off. Probably not nice for Danny or the TV, but yeah, it was a strange one. I didn't expect it, obviously.
The good news is the TV wasn't hurt. when Danny hit it. In terms of this game, and hopefully no one hits any TVs in this particular matchup, what would it mean for them for different reasons to make it through? Because I feel like for Ben Robb, if he wins, we saw what happened to Raymond Smith in terms of winning a week and then winning a series. In terms of darts back in the Oceanic region, will this feel a bit of a breakthrough for Ben Robb?
I think it'd be a bit of a breakthrough for him. I think it'd be a bit of a breakthrough for the Super Series in the area, because it'll be big news down there. So I think it could be good for both. But I think, Simon's playing as the underdog here, and I think he likes the underdog role, and he's got the dart. So yeah, what could happen?
Your predictions are that good. I'm not even going to ask you for one for the final.
I
don't want to ruin it. I don't want to jinx it.
I
I don't want to jinx it. All we know is someone's going to get to 4 legs and someone's going to get to Champions Week. Yep, I've got splinters. And we've got a final to look forward to as Simon Stevenson takes on Ben Robb.
He's the treble 19. Finds it tops. Steve West shaking his head in the background, because that is what Ben Robb has been doing.
Getting shown the mark, Simon Stevenson.
Right, let's get it on, shall we? Ben Robb and Simon Stevenson playing for a place at Champions League. Just 2 more spots available now. And for one of these two, an opportunity to play in the biggest week that the Super Series has to offer for the first time. In commentary, Scott Mitchell and Laura Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much, Henry. Very much looking forward to this. I mean, I know Henry didn't ask our predictions, and I can completely understand why, because you just look at what they've done tonight, what they've done throughout the week, and it feels very difficult to split the pair. Ben Robb, the 37-year-old from Auckland, he has been a runner-up all the way back in Series 6. He was a runner-up to Steve West. Well, he's had his revenge over Westy by beating him 4-1 in the semi-finals. As for Simon Stevenson, same scoreline, different player. Jared Cole went down 4-1, so Stevenson could progress to this final. And I just wonder if it's going to come down to something as simple as Simon Stevenson. He's got the throw, and he is one of those players. Both these players throughout this evening, they've just proven that they're very difficult to break. They're used to finding big scores, big finishes, and their timing so far tonight has been impressive.
16.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, Laura. They have been excellent. And both deserve to be in this final. It is quite ironic,
57.
everybody in green as well. How often have we seen it? And it's not quite the same shade of green, but it's very similar.
140. $96.
The one thing that Ben Robb did have, he had a bit of a slow start to his semi-final, but kind of got away with it a little bit. I don't think he can afford to do the same here.
No, I mean, you could argue the same case with Stevenson against Jared Cole. There was a couple of longer legs, but this is the final. Anything can happen, and finals do things to different players. There's an additional pressure. You know that it's just one game away, and you asked the question earlier that after Ben Robb, he hit that 105 average. Could he back it up? Well, he did. He had just under a 98 average, or 97 average, sorry, against Steve
60.
West, but now he's got to do it again. And he's in a position that he's been in before, and he's been runner-up before, and he knows what that disappointment tastes like.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And it's
74.
Like I say, in finals, you can overcomplicate things in your head, can't you, as well? And you can't sort of work out that situation and whether a player is going to do that or not. It's all in the moment and how they're feeling in the first few darts.
Well, Stevenson very much trying to take advantage of throws. Being tapped on the shoulder there by way of a 140 from Ben Robb. But tops has been One of the targets that Stevenson hasn't missed
Game
too
shot
often,
first
but
leg,
if he
Simon
does, the
Stevenson.
adjustment is right.
Second leg bend you through first. Game on.
I'd just like to say that's about as animated as Simon Stevenson gets. The little raise of the fist. It's not like a pump. It's not like a big. That's as
57.
animated as I know Simon Stevenson gets.
Well, we spoke to him last night after he qualified, and he was saying that it's just that little release. Doesn't like to give it large. He's not doing it to say anything to his
100.
opponent. It's just all that built-up anxiety, the tension, the pressure. It's the release of that once you know that you've done what you intended to do.
Yeah, indeed. I totally understand where it comes from. I kind of get it. There are big moments in matches where the easiest thing to do is go absolutely berserk and run around the stage and give it to everybody, then go and get your darts out, then go back to the hockey. But there's a certain etiquette to darts in my age of life, and that's not it. Running around screaming your head off.
I've never been able to do it. Even if I have, on the rare occasion, done something well, as Jared Cole watches on, smile on his face. He's always smiling, isn't he, Jared?
Of course he's going to be smiling. He's sat there with his young lady. Why would you not? What's there not to smile about? He's had a lovely
100.
evening at darts, and he's got his lovely lady with him. He's now hidden. Yes, put his hood up, probably. He knows we're talking about him.
100.
Yeah. He's hiding even more. He's coming back out the hood. Who knows? But it's all about this final.
Was that his Kenny impression out of South Park?
140. Ben Ricard 108.
Yeah, the lay of that first dart, it made everything really
56.
awkward.
Sam Ricard 61.
And this to go 2-0 up. Double 18.
43.
And it's
Ben
a
Ricard,
miss. And it's a
52.
miss once again on the Ben Robb throw. Ben Robb tonight has yet to be broken on throat.
12.
This is a trend that Stevenson right here can change.
He can indeed. He tends to go straight for it. And that's the reason why. And he knows that's a big moment. He really does.
Third leg Simon to through first.
Brilliant stuff from
Game on.
Stevenson. We mentioned one was from Plymouth and one was from Auckland. Two proper nautical
100.
areas of the world.
Indeed. Well, one of these two players will be sailing into Champions Week. Ben Robb trying to mount a bit of a fight back.
$41.
The New Zealanders are still here, standing by their man.
$123.
Now, this is a great response from Ben Robb.
It's even kind of a nautical shirt he's got on there, isn't it? Maybe he came from London. He's got a boat parked up
If you've got
just
a boat,
over the way.
I was gonna say, if you've got a boat and you can take it from London, then I think they know where the cameras are. I think they're quite enjoying it.
I think they'll be back next week. They'll be
60.
from another country by then.
I'm pretty sure if Ben Robb can find a way of getting past Stevenson, they'll be back for Champions Week.
Oh, they'll be asking Ben for tickets. There's
60.
no two ways about that.
Ben
They'll be his
Ricard,
lucky charm.
138.
He'll stay there. Treble 10. It's a brilliant
106.
setup play.
Yeah, it is. Stevenson then. His throw very much under pressure.
100.
Really
Ben
good
Ricard,
last start
32.
from the man from Devon.
Getting shown the third leg.
The man from Auckland makes it 2-1 and is now on
Fourth
throw.
leg bended through first. Game on.
Yeah, and it's taken a 13 dart leg for Ben Robb to break Simon Stevenson.
134.
Really good recovery from Robb. A couple of treble visits, but you know that Stevenson's going to come back at him because that's just what he does. Go on indeed, young man. All the autographs on there. That's what we want to see. Somebody who's really enjoyed his evening.
60.
I wonder who he wants to win.
Well, there's no go in prices, so we're not hearing any Guans, but sounded a bit like West Country then. Guan.
No, that was just me.
Yeah, but this is what's great about here is that you can come along, you can get like up close and personal with the players, but you know, if you're a neutral, then you can kind of get behind everyone and just enjoy brilliant darts.
Stevenson's going to need some brilliant darts here. Can't really leave a finish now. The best he can do is 165.
95.
That's not going to happen.
167.
So Ben Robb on the 167. He's at a 170. Doesn't have to go for it.
136.
It's a big slip with the last dart, but he will be back. It's that last dart hasn't always been kind to Ben Robb.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have too many problems hitting the trebles. It's a big numbers, isn't it, tonight?
And it's a single number in the double 15, which means Simon Stevenson has a chance for this 106. It's a disaster for Ben Robb.
He was trying to make sure, wasn't he, by hitting the biggest part of the 15, and now he's in all sorts of trouble. Stevenson here to pick his pocket in what would be a
86.
crucial leg, and he goes just underneath. And Simon knows that that was a golden opportunity.
Yeah, the exhale of breath. This time, 15 is found. Big dart. Didn't need to be this pressurised. And is that a bit of a blocker for Ben Robb?
15. Samuel Carr, 20.
He couldn't get any closer with either. The Kiwi contingent going right through it here.
Game shown the fourth leg, Simon
Stevenson.
Fifth leg, Simon is through first.
I think that's more relief that he got that double.
Game on.
After the opportunity. But all the same, it puts him 3-1 to the good. And now on throw.
Yeah, Ben Robb in that previous leg was on 31 after 12 darts. Simon Stevenson back on 206. It was the bust of the score. So should not have been that messy for Ben Robb, but no complaints, I'm sure, from Simon Stevenson, who punishes.
100.
Simon Stevenson now at 3-1 has got to be thrown with a bit of freedom.
100.
He's got to be feeling that he'll get this opportunity to close this out, and he'll get another opportunity if he doesn't on throw. So, but you don't want to take it that far. You want to get the job done as quickly as you can.
Yeah, the neck and neck in this leg. Stevenson already done something that no one else has done so far tonight. He's managed to break Ben Robb.
100.
Yeah, absolutely. And the risk of sort of saying, oh, well, yeah, if I go 3-3, I've got the dart, and you go 60 and your opponent goes 180, then you're right in the mire. So you cannot guarantee that. You want to get it done as quickly as you can.
140.
Robb coming back into the game here.
But this would be some way to win it. It's not going to go on a 161.
Now he's got choices and decisions to make. Is he going for the ball?
65.
He does go for the ball. It's 25.
21.
Leaves him a handy 2-darter. Ben Robb needs at least one treble to get a dart or something, and it's not that one.
43.
Blocked his route a little.
96.
So Simon Stevenson, it's treble 20, it's double 18 for the match, and the man from Devon has the opportunity here to upset the apple cart. And upset it he does. Simon Stevenson is your Series 13 Week 11 champion. He will be heading to Champions Week. Superb stuff from the man from Devon. Big thumbs up to the camera. And that's about as happy as you get. This is as big a celebration as you get. Known Hinksy a long while. And I tell you, Devon will be going wild over this man. And here's the stats. 91 average apiece. Brilliant game, but so's 4 from 8 from Simon Stevenson. And it's 4-1 to Simon Stevenson.
Who is into Champions Week, the 11th name into Champions Week. It was a night we thought that was going to be very tight, and it was the finest, barest of margins which saw Simon Stevenson cross the line. It was that fourth leg that was so key. Ben Rod had opportunities to make it 2-2, was unable to do so, but it is Simon Stevenson who is a weekly winner on debut. And to crown him the champion, let's hand over to our MC, Paul Hinks. Stevenson, a very happy man having picked the trophy up. As you can see, almost welling up a little bit there. A big moment for Simon in his career. I know he's a man that's been there, he's done it, and he's won a few things in the past. And, well, Simon, he's not used to this winning feeling, is he? He might have to. Let's hear from him now, and let's crown him the winner. He's going to be crowned by Paul Hinks.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a fantastic night of darts we've had down in the Live Lounge. All players that's actually played on the night have all exceeded. What a game of darts we've seen here tonight. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner. So please put your hands together for the Modus Super Series, Series 13, Week 11 winner. It's the Mirror Man, Simon Stevenson!
Well, that is a man that is proud as punches, so he should be. He's a man that's been around for a long time, and now he can have a trophy in his cabinet. He can say he's won something on the telly now, and he will be playing for what could well be the biggest check of his career when it comes to Champions Week in Week 13. Simon Stevenson is a weekly winner for the very first time. We're going to hear from him in the studio. More reaction from tonight's action to come on the other side of this short break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Simon Stevenson on debut has won here at the Live Lounge Reports. He got the better of Ben Robb by 4 legs to 1 in the final to book the penultimate spot through to Champions Week in the middle of April. He joins myself and Laura in the studio now. Simon, many congratulations.
Thank you.
As far as debuts go, this has just been an absolute dream, hasn't it?
Easy, isn't it?
Trust me, it's not always like this.
No, it was, I said earlier, it was a hard slog, and obviously Ben's a fantastic player, and I needed to hit him early, and I think that's what I did. Took me chances well, and it was a good final.
You went a couple of legs clear. Then there was a 4th leg. Ben was just beginning to come back at you a little bit. Then he missed an opportunity, and then you passed. That felt like the moment the game was kind of won.
It's probably where it turned, really. You always get those little moments where it changes the game, and that was one of them. And I took my advantage and carried on from there.
And it felt like from that point onwards, there was only going to be one winner of that final. You could see that Simon was on the up, and it kind of deflated Ben a little bit.
Yeah, it did. And I was saying in comms, it was actually the first time that I think Ben had been broken on throw throughout the entire evening. He's so strong on throw. But for me, that was kind of, that was the turning point. I mean, was there a point where you just thought, right, I've got this in the bag. This is it. I've got this now.
Well, so, you know, when you're 2-1 up, 3-1 up, you just got to keep thinking, just keep concentrating, keep throwing straight, and just hit those doubles at the end, really. So, yeah, because he can take any finish, really, or most of them can. So it's just a case of keep plodding on, really.
Is that the key sometimes, then, in a situation like that, just simplifying it as much as possible?
For me, it is. I just keep throwing straight and just try and get yourself on a double. Don't worry about what they're doing. And if you get a chance, just take it out.
Well, do you want to have a look at the moment where you did take it out and you did take the weekly? We've got a little monitor just down there, and this was the 96 to crown you the winner. What are you thinking at this point? You take that little step back, and it's just a case of just get this done.
Just composure, because I've missed so many doubles today, really, where I've lost, rushed into it, really, you know, trying to get the double, get it finished. And I thought, if I get a chance, step back and just concentrate and then have a go again. And I think the throw before that, I think it was 105 to leave myself a 2-dart finish, and that was critical.
And we saw there a little bit of emotion. Now, you're quite a cool, calm, collected customer, but at the end there, we could see what that meant to you.
Yeah, it's just a relief of pressure, really. That's all it is. And, you know, you're throwing, it's a lot of pressure to concentrate and keep yourself going, and that was it, just a release of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you've done great things, obviously. We've known of you playing in the PDC, having the tour card, the UK Open quarterfinalists, you know. But how does this rank in terms of, you know, your achievements and especially in more recent times?
Huge. Obviously, playing in the tour was quite a while ago now, probably 6 years ago. So to come back and to play against some really good guys, I do know, you know, they've been there before as well. And to win it, like you say, on my debut here, fantastic. Didn't dream of this.
You didn't dream of it, but you're going to have to do a little bit more dreaming, because you've got a quick turnover now. Because you won week 11, that quick turnover, that quick layover, then before you know it, Champions Week's going to be underway.
Well, this could be a good thing, really, I think. Just, you know, because I'm used to the board now. It's a nice throw there, so hopefully 2 weeks is not too long.
And in terms of Champions Week for yourself, we've mentioned, obviously, as Laura said, you go quarterfinals, some of the other things that you've done during your life on tour. But in terms of an opportunity for yourself, how big is this?
Huge. Huge opportunity, and I need to grasp it while I can. You don't get many chances like this, and I'm going to go for it.
Like we were discussing earlier on tonight, we were having a look at your form, we were having a look at your numbers, and we were seeing you really trending in the right direction. What's kind of been the catalyst for yourself in terms of this real upturn in form that you've got?
I think it's all about experience. Getting old now, so playing quite a lot locally, you know, playing some really good players, and just confidence. If you've got the confidence, and it takes you way above.
And you know what, I love that attitude towards the game, a little bit of confidence, and maybe as well playing with a little bit of freedom too.
I guess so. It's there is no set recipe, but when you can find something that works for you, I think that's the most important thing. I mean, one thing I did actually notice is you're in quite early when it comes to practicing. Do you have that kind of set practice routine? Some people come in like an hour before. I think you were in like 2.5, 3 hours.
I'm not the most natural player,
okay.
So I do need a couple of hours practice to get me through going. But that's just me. That's the way I've been brought up, really.
And it's working an absolute treat.
And of course, I've come here expecting nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I love being the underdog, really. But when you come in, you think, oh, he's top of the, you know, the odds. You're thinking, oh, God.
Did you expect that?
No, not at all. I thought it'd be, because I've not been before, I thought it'd be right down below. But when you're top of the odds, everybody's looking, oh, you're the man to be. I'm thinking, oh, no.
Well, now you've won the week. We spoke about Champions Week, and this is the list of players that you're going to be joining at Champions Week. Brace yourself, because there's a few big names in there. However, they're players that maybe somewhere around the line, I'm looking at maybe someone like a Scott Taylor, for example, you probably would have batted eyeballs with. You. I imagine if you've watched this before, you would have seen Neil Duffy a few times.
Yeah.
But that's a cast list, right?
It's a great lineup, isn't it, really? You look at like Nathan Potter, what a talent he is. They're all talented, so it's just a case of, you know, doing what I can do best and just plod on.
So
be the underdog and see what happens.
You've taken the next question away from me, because that was exactly what I was going to ask. Because you look at those list of players,
they've got to be above me. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Just want to lay low under the radar.
I don't expect too much, and I'll just come up above the radar.
I wouldn't be so sure. I think you put in some top performances, but yeah, I understand it. I guess it's a thing for a lot of players. It's nice to go under the it's nice to go under the radar, but like I say, you've been really impressive. I'm not sure you will go under the radar.
Did you enjoy playing Group C?
Yes.
Would you like to play Group A at Champions Week?
I'll play anything.
Well, that's good news, because you are now guaranteed Group A at Champions Week. You've got the third highest running average of anybody who's qualified through the Champions Week so far.
I didn't realise that. No, I didn't even look at the averages. So. Averages are great, but you just want to win games.
So what's going to be, I know this has only just happened, but what's going to be the sort of plan? What are you kind of thinking in your head in terms of the turnover now between us sat here on the Saturday night having won the trophy to a week Monday when you rock up here for your first game at your first Champions Week?
Just relax, really. I don't practice too much, to be honest. Like I say, 2 or 3 hours before I play, that's fine. So I just carry on like I'm doing.
And do you know what? It's interesting because you've got players like Neil Duff, who's desperate to win that first championship. You've got players like Nathan Potter and Jack Drayton, who will be chomping at the bit to win their first major. But yet someone like Simon, who's going to come in there with such a relaxed attitude towards it, that just makes him so dangerous when everybody else is possibly fighting life and limb to win.
Do you know what, I've had the privilege of watching for the last few days, and do you know what I'm getting? I'm getting kind of Derek Coulson vibes, that laid-back attitude that just allows you to play your best stuff, not to get too worked up. If it doesn't quite go your way, just come back and be a better player if you do lose a game. I think that's what Simon's done so far this week, so I think the rest of the field are going to be more than aware of what he's capable of.
Of course, there's two sides to every final, and Ben Robb's had a fantastic week, but once again, just falling a little bit too short in the final.
Yeah, you've got he was brilliant all night. He had the 105 highest average that we've had, backed it up with that 4-1 win over Steve in the first semi-final, but just fell short at the end. Had opportunities to make it 2-2, but when he missed, he was exploited by from Simon, and the rest is history. It's a second runner-up spot. He'll be disappointed, but plenty to take from this week.
And he's got plenty of time to reflect on it as he flies back to Auckland in New Zealand.
Yeah, I know. It's not exactly we moan about a couple of hours when we live in England, but yeah, you have to give credit to the amount of commitment that he's shown to be here. Runner-up, I think that that's brilliant for any player, but he'll be disappointed now, but hopefully he'll look back and it'll be a really positive thing.
And just think, he could probably watch every single one of his matches this week and still have another 12 hours on the plane to be bored with. In terms of yourself, Simon, you could be the pride of the Southwest. We've had some great players from that region play here, win here in the past, but none of them won a Champions Week yet.
No, so let's see what happens.
And that attitude's just going to take you all the way, isn't it?
Yeah. just go and don't expect too much, and just try and, like you say, just relax and just play your game and see what happens. That's me.
We're really looking forward to watching you play at your very first Champions Week. And just 9 more days to go until we know who the champion's going to be of Series... Oh, sorry, who know who was going to be in Champions Week in Series 13, shall I say?
Yeah, not long to wait. 1 more week to go, and then everything, all eyes turn to those. We've got 11 players through, obviously the 12 players that make it through. Again, next week, a very exciting one, very difficult to pick from.
Laura, thank you very much. Simon, many congratulations. We shall see you in 9 days' time when Champions Week begins. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Plenty coming up here on Pluto TV. Coming up next, Mr. and Mrs. the International Pairs Edition, where the players that played at the recent International Pairs will get to know their teammates just that little bit better. Then Monday morning, the final week of qualification begins. David Munya, Kenya's going to be here. Now, he's hoping to have a 3-week stint because he's playing in the last week of this series. He wants to be at Champions Week and then international pairs come the end of April. Mark your card, Champions Week gets underway on April the 13th. The first piece of major silverware on the amateur circuit is on the line. And of course, International Pairs 3 begins on Monday the 20th of April. And you can watch every dart here on Pluto TV. But that is it from us. 9 days to go until Champions Week. And Simon Stevenson's the 11th player through. The man in the mirror. Well, he looked good, didn't he? Bye from us.
Ball. Ball for 128. Come on from Willie Borland. Another really good leg for Ben Robb. 180 is hit, but
he's going to work his way in. And that's exactly what he does. This is for Simon Stevens' qualification. Stevenson tops it is.
for Stevenson. It's a great first start. Single 19 for tops. For a 116 and a 4-3 victory. Double 19 finds it for tops. He's where shaking his head in the background because that is what Ben Robb has been doing.
Rig 57 and 3-140 now finds himself on double six, and double six he takes.
Well, the miscount didn't matter.
Getting shown the mark, Simon Stevenson.
All right, through it here.
Show the 4-leg, Simon
Stevenson to upset the apple cart. And upset it he does.
The Minuteman, Simon Stevenson.
The new Modus Super Series champion.
Oh my word!
It's another incredible moment tonight. Jeff Smith. It's matched out.
5-star performer, and the bullseye is hit.
It's Johnny Magnet.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have
Graham
one dart.
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Dart at tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Dart at double 16 gets the job done there for Jurgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2.
Did he go for tops or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Gablas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He is 2 darts away from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone. And you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Van Skee's halfway to victory.
He only needs 1 more. Jimmy Van Ski is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Van Ski do the same? Just needs the 1 treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101!
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.